Chapter 474. After Yang Wu settled the matter with Wan Lanxin, he was in a very good mood. He held Wan Lanxin's hand and walked in this desolate and uninhabited place. Along the way, he talked about the interesting things that happened when he was young. Wan Lanxin leaned against Yang Wu's side like a little bird. The rosy color on her face didn't disappear for a long time. At this moment, she was undoubtedly the happiest person. When night fell, Yang Wu brought Wan Lanxin back to King City and called her to the residence to eat together. During the meal, Su Rome could clearly see that Yang Wu and Wan Lanxin's relationship had made a big breakthrough. She was very happy in her heart. This daughter-in-law is set. Wan Lanxin wasn't as prominent as Tang Xiaoan, nor was she as beautiful as Tang Xiaoan. However, she had a capable aura and was very straightforward in her work. Her immediate superior, Yang Zhenan, was full of praise for her. If she could become his daughter-in-law, it wouldn't be bad. Wan Lanxin felt the love and recognition of Yang Wu's family. Her nervous heart finally relaxed. She thought proudly in her heart, "Little Yu, thank you for leaving." After the meal, Yang Wu sent Wan Lanxin back to the Wan residence. Before arriving at the Wan residence, Yang Wu let go of Wan Lanxin's hand and said, "Exhilarating, I'll send you here. In the future, I'll personally visit Uncle Wan. And then you can go back." Wan Lanxin softly replied. Then she quickly kissed Yang Wu's face and ran back to the residence. Yang Wu touched his still wet cheeks and murmured, "So fragrant." The next day, before Yang Wu could go to the Wan residence to visit Wan Tianlong, Little He couldn't help but urge, "You should look for the next type of mysterious essence qi. There's no need to be in such a hurry, right?" Yang Wu replied, "Aren't you in a hurry? Do you know how much time you've wasted? If you don't hurry up, what qualifications do you have to welcome that girl surnamed Meng and that little lover of yours in the future? Besides, that brat surnamed Lu also needs you to save his life." Little He said resentfully. Yang Wu slightly furrowed his brows and said, after Lu Ji cultivated the yin-yang immortal canon, his condition should have improved a lot. His life shouldn't be in danger for a short period of time. If he doesn't cultivate the yin-yang immortal scripture, he can live to 30 years old, but after cultivating it, his lifespan will be greatly reduced. Why is this happening? He was born with a yin-yang body, but because of some reasons, his yin qi is heavier than his yang qi. When his strength increases, the imbalance between yin and yang will erupt in advance. At that time, no one will be able to save him. You clearly know that this will happen, so why do you still let him cultivate the yin-yang immortal canon? Aren't you just letting Lu Ji die early? Yang Wu said with great dissatisfaction. He already considered Lu Ji his own brother, so he definitely couldn't bear to see Lu Ji die. Woof, woof, if he doesn't cultivate the yin-yang immortal canon, what will he use to cultivate the Tao of formations in the future? How can he be a good helper for you? Rather than letting him live a mediocre life, it's better to give him more hope. Moreover, you should hurry up and raise your cultivation. The sooner you go to the transcendental realm, the sooner you can find the sacred object, the easier it will be to solve his problem. Little He replied firmly. Yang Wu thought about it and said, "All right, we'll set off immediately." If he wanted to raise his cultivation, other than cultivating, he also needed to collect profound essence qi to help the Regal 9 profound arts advance. Only then would he be able to break through to a higher realm. Little He had once said that he had swallowed 2 types of profound essence qi. At most, he could only reach the peak of the king realm. There was no way for him to reach the heavenly fish realm. This was the flaw of the Regal 9 profound arts, and he had to make up for it in order to become stronger. Yang Wu had always thought that Lu Ji cultivating the yin-yang immortal canon would only benefit him and not harm him. Who would have thought that this would instead shorten his lifespan? He had to find the next type of profound essence qi as soon as possible and use this opportunity to advance to the next level. Then, he would go to the transcendental realm to find higher-grade herbs. Only then would he be able to refine the high-grade pills that could solve Lu Ji's problem. After all, the mortal realm was the mortal realm. There was a lack of power here, so it was very difficult to find high-grade herbs. Heavenly medicines were already the limit. It was almost impossible to find herbs that were higher grade than heavenly medicines. Yang Wu left as soon as he said so. He had already passed down many things in the past few days. Moreover, he had nothing to worry about. It was time to look for the profound essence Qi. This time, he followed the clues left behind by the Death War Emperor to look for the profound essence Qi. The destination of the map was the Wolf Smoke Mountain Range. He brought the silver-patterned tortoise and the skinny monkey along with him. Now, the soldiers of the Death Legion had all joined the Martial Marquis group. The Death Legion's military status had been revoked, but their regiment number did not change. They were still called the Death Legion. When they heard that Yang Wu was returning to the Wolf Smoke Mountain Range, they all wanted to follow Yang Wu. Yang Wu did not want to cause too much of a commotion, so he let them stay. He also arranged a holiday for them to go home and see their families. After Yang Wu made this decision, the eyes of the Death Legion's members were wet. Many of them still had family members. They had wanted to go back and see them for a long time, but they did not have the courage. Now that Yang Wu mentioned it, the suppressed emotions in their hearts finally broke out. They missed their families. Although their military status had been revoked, because of their relationship with Yang Wu, they had made great contributions in both the border and King City. They had received military medals. This was enough to bring glory to their ancestors. It was enough for them to return home with honor. Yang Wu told Pang Yuan to arrange for them to go on holiday one after another. 300 people would go on holiday each time. They would be divided into 4 or 5 groups. Each group could go home for about a month. If their family members wanted to come to King City to live, Yang Wu's residents would be responsible for settling them down. If they did not want to come, they would be given enough money to live. This would completely solve the Death Legion's worries. Pang Yuan was very satisfied with Yang Wu's arrangement. He left the details to him. After settling these matters, Yang Wu rode on the silver-patterned tortoise and the skinny monkey rode on the fire-cloud tiger. They quickly rushed to the Wolf Smoke Mountain Range. This time, Yang Wu did not waste any time. He urged the silver-patterned tortoise to fly quickly. He wanted to reach the Wolf Smoke Mountain Range as soon as possible. The silver-patterned tortoise had already reached the peak-level Demon King realm. During this period of time, its cultivation had stagnated. This was because its bloodline power had affected its growth. If it wanted to improve, it had to further strengthen its bloodline power. If it wanted to strengthen its bloodline power, it had to first awaken its bloodline source. This had the best effect, but it was also the most difficult. Second, it had to devour bloodlines of the same origin to replenish its own bloodline power. This required it to find spirit demons of the same origin to devour. The last method was to improve its bloodline power through medicinal pills. Among these 3 methods, the last one was worth looking forward to. After all, its master was a heavenly alchemist. Its master had already prepared a heavenly pill for it. However, he had not given it to it. It had to perform well. Otherwise, its master would not give it to it. The fire cloud tiger that Shou Ho was riding was still an elementary demon king. Its bloodline was even worse than the silver-patterned tortoises. It would not be easy for it to continue improving. Shou Ho could not think of a good way to help it improve. This time, if they entered the Wolf Smoke Mountain Range again and encountered some ignorant spirit demon kings, perhaps they could help the fire cloud tiger devour their demon cores and help it to improve its cultivation level. They traveled day and night. 3 days later, they approached the border once again and arrived at the encampment of the Barbarian Suppression Army. The Barbarian Suppression Army already had a new name. The Empress had personally given the order to change the name of the army at the border to Xia Wu Army. When all the soldiers heard this name, They guessed why the Empress had changed the name of the army. Xia represented Great Xia, and Wu definitely represented Yang Wu. Who did not know that the Empress was interested in Yang Wu? They had almost gotten married. Even if they could not be together now, who could say for sure what would happen in the future? At least, the citizens of Great Xia all believed that only Yang Wu was worthy of the Empress, and only the Empress was worthy of Yang Wu. When Yang Wu arrived at the border, all the soldiers were in an uproar. Yang Wu was definitely the savior of these soldiers. When the barbarian tribe had besieged them, it was Yang Wu who came back in time to negotiate peace with the barbarian tribe. Only then did they manage to escape. Otherwise, they would have definitely been killed by the barbarian tribe. Greetings to Lord Yang Wu. Long live Lord Yang Wu. All the soldiers knelt down in unison and greeted him in unison. When Yang Wu saw these soldiers, he was rather emotional. He sighed in his heart, the world is changing so quickly. If someone heard his sigh, they would definitely retort, it's not that the world is changing quickly, it's that you are improving too quickly. Yang Wu called these soldiers up and gave them a few words of encouragement. Then, he was brought to the tent by Su Yanshui. Many of the soldiers were very regretful. They were far away at the border, but after hearing about Yang Wu's many accomplishments in King City, they respected Yang Wu as a celestial being. They still wanted to pay their respects to Yang Wu's elegant demeanor. In the commander's tent, Su Yanshui smoked a cigarette and said, "What wind blew you here? Could it be that Her Majesty the Empress has some imperial edict for you to bring?" Su Yanshui had only been at the border for a few days and had just settled into the commander's seat. He really did not understand why Yang Wu had suddenly come. Yang Wu smiled and said, "How could there be so many imperial edicts? I just wanted to come here and meditate for a while. I also wanted to see third uncle on the way." "That's good. I thought Her Majesty the Empress was going to change her mind and replace me with the commander," Su Yanshui said with a sigh of relief. To be honest, compared to the title of City Guardian General, he preferred the feeling of being in charge of troops and horses. Even if there was no war to fight now, being able to command thousands of troops and horses was something that any man would dream of. "Third uncle, could it be that you don't have confidence in yourself?" Yang Wu asked back. "Of course I have confidence. These 2 days I just took care of these bastards. Now, who dares to say no to this commander? It's good that you have confidence. Right now, the barbarian army will not invade, but you should not cross the border to find trouble with them. Moreover, you should not provoke the wolf race here. You must remember my words. Alright, stop nagging like a woman at such a young age. If you don't listen to me, you will suffer losses. I'm leaving." Chapter 475. It was June and the sun was scorching hot, shining down on the earth. However, it was extremely cool in the forest path of the Wolf Smoke Mountain Range. The Wolf Smoke Mountain Range was originally a huge ancient mountain range. There were many old trees growing here. Each one of them covered the sky and the sun. It was difficult for sunlight to easily penetrate. There were 2 youths riding their mounts leisurely along the forest path. A young man in a navy blue robe was sitting cross-legged on the turtle demon with his eyes closed. There seemed to be a sapphire light pulsating in his chest. The power of the heat in the sky was constantly converging and entering his chest. It was incomparably mystical. There was a little hay dog lying on his shoulder. It was fluffy and looked rather cute. Another youth with hair like a chicken's nest was sitting on a tiger demon. He looked up at the sky, and his gaze penetrated the shade of the trees and landed on the rising sun. He kept staring at it, as if he could pierce through the firmament and see through the sun. Ordinary people looking at the sun like this would be considered lucky if their eyes were not pierced. However, not only was the chicken's nest youth fine, he was even increasing the power of his eyes. It was truly shocking. These 2 youths were Yang Wu and Shou Ho. They left Xia Wujuan and rushed to the destination of this trip. The direction they were walking in was the west side of the Wolf Smoke mountain range. It was the horizontal end of the mountain range. So they went on until the sun went down, and then they went on. The spirit demons here did not dare to attack them. With the aura of 2 spirit demon kings permeating the air, who would dare to come out and court death? At night, they stopped cultivating and began to observe the messy grass to search for old herbs. Their eyesight was not to be underestimated. They completely ignored the pitch-black night and easily found stalks of old herbs. Big brother, you have already reached the heavenly alchemist realm. Why are you still looking for these ordinary old herbs? Shouho asked puzzledly. Yang Wu said with a smile, any medicinal pill needs a pile of herbal essence to condense it into a pill. Don't underestimate these herbs. Without them, you can't refine a high-grade medicinal pill. Shouho said in realization, I see. Therefore, Shouho also joined in the ranks of collecting herbs for Yang Wu. A martial artist couldn't just blindly cultivate. Learning to distinguish between herbs was also a necessary practice. As a martial artist, who wouldn't be injured in battle? After being injured, they would definitely need herbs to heal. This was a very normal logic, so smart martial artists would always remember some common herbs in their hearts. Yang Wu collected herbs while explaining the effects of various herbs to Shouho. Shouho silently remembered it in his heart. At this time, the skinny monkey found a stalk of spirit medicine. It grew in a rather hidden location, but it couldn't escape his sharp eyes. Just as he was about to pick it, a shadow suddenly shot out. Its speed was quite fast, and it was very close to the skinny monkey. In the darkness of the night, it was difficult for anyone to discover its existence. Just as it was about to reach the skinny monkey quickly stretched out his hand and grabbed the shadow. It was a spirit serpent demon as thick as an arm. Its body was covered in multicolored ribbons and was extremely dazzling. It flicked out its tongue and was about to lick the skinny monkey's face. Its malevolent fangs were extremely sharp, and there were even balls of venom gushing out. If the skinny monkey was half a beat slower, the fangs would definitely have bitten him. 5-colored snake. This is a big poisonous snake. Shouho said with lingering fear. Actually, he had already discovered that there was a spirit demon lurking nearby. However, he did not expect it to be a 5-colored snake. This kind of snake's venom was extremely fierce. Once bitten, one would die in a short period of time. Shouho crushed the 5-colored snake without saying a word, not giving it any chance to live. Yang Wu walked over and picked up the 5-colored snake's corpse. He smiled and said, "This is a good thing for nourishing the kidney." With a flick of his finger, he took out the 5-colored snake's gallbladder. A ball of mist appeared in his palm, washing away the stench of the gallbladder. He then took out a piece of herbal leaf and wrapped the gallbladder before stuffing it into his mouth. Shouho looked at Yang Wu's actions and could not help but click his tongue. "Big brother, your taste is really heavy." Yang Wu smiled bitterly and said, "There's nothing I can do. Big brother has kidney deficiency." What were men most afraid of? Of course it was kidney deficiency. Yang Wu was at the age where he was full of vigor and his body was so strong. No matter how one looked at it, he did not look like he had kidney deficiency. Shouho said worriedly, "Big brother, do you have some hidden illness in your body? Could it be that with your current ability, you can't solve this problem?" In his opinion, Yang Wu's kidney deficiency was probably due to a certain aspect of his body being unable to function. This was definitely the most difficult and shameful thing for any man. Yang Wu was a heavenly alchemist and a high-level Earth-Sea realm martial artist. His vigor was incomparably exuberant, yet he actually had kidney deficiency. This could be a congenital disease. Yang Wu spread out his hands and said, "What nonsense are you thinking? Big brother has fought too much and consumed too much of my kidney power. I just need to replenish it." Hey, is that really the case? Shouho said with a smile on his face. Battle strength was replenished through profound qi. Yang Wu's battle could only be replenished by nourishing the kidney. Any man would think the wrong way. Yang Wu said in annoyance, "What nonsense are you thinking? Big brother is still a virgin. Hurry up and make a pot of snake soup to nourish it." Shouho laughed again, clearly not believing Yang Wu's nonsense. However, he did not dare to say anything else and quickly started a fire to make the snake soup. Yang Wu obtained many universe rings from the Purple Firmament Hall's people and gave one to Shouho. It was convenient for him to carry some necessities on him, including the soup pot that he was currently using. Yang Wu continued to search for herbs. When he returned, Shouho's snake soup was almost done. Shouho called out to him, "Big brother, come and eat. It's very fragrant." "What's the rush?" Yang Wu replied and took out a few herbs and threw them into the snake soup. Zzz. The soup pot made some strange sounds and a medicinal fragrance wafted out. Shouho praised, "Big brother is indeed an alchemist. You casually turned this soup into a pot of medicinal cuisine." "That's natural. I can eat now," Yang Wu replied proudly. "Big brother, this soup should also be good for the kidney. You should eat more." Shouho said, "Grandson, come and take care of this guy. I'll give you a heaven pill." Yang Wu quickly ordered the silver-patterned tortoise not far away. "Yes, master." The silver-patterned tortoise's eyes lit up. It responded and rushed towards Shouho. It turned into a young man carrying a big pot on his back. He had a strange blue face with silver scales. He wasn't tall, and his arms and legs were short. As he ran, there was a gust of wind. Before he reached the skinny monkey, his fists were mercilessly thrown at the skinny monkey. "You really came!" Shouho exclaimed and quickly retreated. He was not afraid of the silver-patterned tortoise, but he was afraid that the fight would destroy the snake soup. The silver-patterned tortoise did not show any mercy to Shouho. It continuously threw out Overlord fists with its fists. Each fist carried with it a strand of silver-patterned power. Its attack power was very strong. "Grandson, your master monkey is serious. Don't think that only Big Brother can subdue you." Shouho shouted and let go of his limbs as he fought fiercely with the silver-patterned tortoise. Shouho had broken through to the Earth-Sea realm and his battle power was quite strong. He directly threw his fists at the silver-patterned tortoise. Bang bang! In an instant, the sounds of these fists exploding continuously rang out, breaking the tranquility of the night. Many spirit demons and wild beasts in the surroundings were frightened and fled. The battle between kings was unstoppable. Yang Wu and Little Hay slowly drank the snake soup while admiring the battle between Shouho and the silver-patterned tortoise. They were in a good mood. In the royal city, he had been troubled by many things and had almost lost his life. Now that he had finally come out for a breath of fresh air, his body and mind could relax. Snake gall and snake soup were great tonic. After they entered his stomach, he quickly refined them. Strands of kidney-nourishing energy gathered at his kidneys, slowly strengthening his kidney power. In the battle between Yang Wu and the experts from the Purple Firmament Palace, he had used up too much of his kidney power. Kidney power was not like the energy in his dantian, which could be recovered by absorbing external energy. It had to be replenished with kidney-nourishing energy in order to completely recover and strengthen. During this period, kidney nourishing is a big deal. Yang Wu sensed the location of his kidneys and found that his kidney power had indeed been replenished. However, it was still far from his requirements. He had to continue nourishing himself. In the night sky, Shouho and the silver-patterned tortoise were fighting fiercely, especially the silver-patterned tortoise. It was already a peak-level demon king with outstanding battle talent. When it went all out, it was even more valiant. It forced Shouho to reveal his bloodline power. The silver-patterned tortoise reverted to its original form. Both sides were fighting fiercely. "Damn it, grandson, do you really think I can't do anything to you?" Shouho shouted angrily as he continuously attacked the silver-patterned tortoise. The silver-patterned tortoise had a strong defense. No matter how Shou-Ho attacked, he couldn't break through its defense. At the same time, silver patterns appeared on its back, forming a large net that enveloped Shou-Ho. Shou-Ho was forced into a corner. His realm was one level lower than the silver-patterned tortoise. After he transformed, his strength increased, but he couldn't suppress the silver-patterned tortoise. He couldn't accept this fact. He took out his broken staff and waved it out with a blazing flame. At the same time, 2 rays of light shot out from his eyes, breaking the silver-patterned tortoise's defense and sending it flying. Just as Shou-Ho was about to continue his pursuit, Yang Wu said, "Enough, you guys really want to fight to the death. Big brother, I must teach this grandson a lesson." Shou-Ho was extremely angry. He ignored Yang Wu's words and continued to fight the silver-patterned tortoise. The silver-patterned tortoise was injured, but it was still full of fighting spirit. It roared, "Come on, I'm not afraid of you." A thick layer of icicles appeared on the silver-patterned tortoise's body as it charged forward again. All of a sudden, Yang Wu appeared in the middle of them. He threw a punch to his left and right, blocking all of their attack. He shouted, "I said enough." Shou-Ho and the silver-patterned tortoise sensed that Yang Wu was angry and instantly withered. Chapter 476. Who dared to doubt Yang Wu's fighting strength? He had kicked the skinny monkey's butt and cracked the silver-patterned turtle's shell. Even if they worked together, they would not be a match for Yang Wu. After they obediently stopped, Yang Wu brought them on their journey and punished them to find herbs and kidney-nourishing items. Along the way, the skinny monkey and the silver-patterned turtle collected a large amount of herbs and also many kidney-nourishing items. Among them were bear paws, deer antlers, spirit ginseng, and so on. Yang Wu did not argue as he roasted the bear paws and ate the spirit ginseng to quench his thirst. His kidney power was quickly replenished. Unknowingly, they had walked for several days in the mountain range and were finally about to reach their destination. Awo! The howls of the wolf demons rang out as the wolf demons surrounded Yang Wu and the others. Along the way, Yang Wu did not harm any of the wolf demons. He was very clear that this was the territory of the wolf clan. If he harmed them, it would definitely cause a lot of trouble. "Big brother, there are so many wolf demons," the skinny monkey exclaimed. "Don't be afraid, they are friends," Yang Wu said calmly. "Who is your friend? Hurry up and scram from here or I will eat all of you." A ruthless black wild wolf king rushed out and shouted. Beside the black wild wolf king, there were a few other wolf kings. They all angrily stared at Yang Wu and the others, as if they wanted to rush over at any time. The surrounding black wild wolves were suffused with a fierce light. The black wild wolf king could feel that the auras of the 2 people and the 2 demons in front of it were not ordinary. This was also the reason why it did not immediately give the order to attack them. "Big brother, are we going to kill them or what?" The skinny monkey held the broken rod and said faintly. "Is your patriarch Black Baron here?" Yang Wu ignored the skinny monkey and asked the leader of the black wild wolf king. You know our patriarch?" The black wild wolf king said in surprise. "Of course, hurry up and call it out. Tell it that Yang Wu is here to visit." Yang Wu replied. The black wild wolf king hesitated for a moment, then let out a few low howls towards the wolf demons beside it. Then it said to Yang Wu, "Wait here." Then it quickly rushed towards the tallest mountain nearby, where their patriarch was. Not long after, a loud wolf howl rang out, and an even larger wolf silhouette quickly appeared before Yang Wu. It was the Black Wolf Emperor Black Baron. Black Baron's gaze first landed on little Hay on Yang Wu's shoulder. He lowered his proud head and prostrated himself on the ground. "Greetings to the little ancestor, young Master Yang." Black Baron was one of the heavenly demons that had gone with Yang Wu to the barbarian race. At that time, he had brought the Black Wild Wolf Emperor, the Ice Wolf Patriarch, the Three-Eyed Blue Wolf, the Old Tortoise, and the other heavenly demons to the barbarian race's border. That was how he had been able to negotiate with the barbarian race. In return, Yang Wu had refined a batch of Yao King pills for them. Long time no see, Black Baron. Yang Wu called out to Black Baron. Young Master Yang, long time no see. I've really missed you all. Black Baron warmly said. The skinny monkey was stunned. He didn't think that Yang Wu would be so familiar with such an imposing heavenly demon. However, when he thought about how powerful his big brother had become, he knew that there must be some unknown secret, so he didn't probe any further. When the Black Wild Wolf King heard its patriarch's words, it was so scared that its legs went soft. It had just threatened its patriarch's friend. What should it do now? Fortunately, it hadn't done anything too overboard, so it shouldn't be a problem. Black Baron, does this area belong to your tribe? Yang Wu asked Black Baron. He had followed the map given to him by the Death Battle Emperor. He didn't think that he would come to the Black Wild Wolf tribe's territory. This place wasn't far from where he wanted to go. He couldn't understand how the Death Battle Emperor had come here. That's right. This area belongs to us, but we'll have to move soon. Black Baron replied, then said, Let's not talk about this anymore. Little ancestor, please come to my cave for a chat. Yang Wu didn't refuse and brought Little Hay and the skinny monkey to Black Baron's cave. He had to understand the surrounding environment first. Perhaps Black Baron could provide him with some information. Black Baron's cave was very dark. It was so dark that one couldn't even see one's own hand. No matter who it was, they would feel a chill run down their spine. Black Baron was very tactful. It didn't know where it got a few crystals, but it instantly lit up the entire cave. This cave wasn't as spacious as the Ice Tribe Patriarch's cave, and there weren't any spirit items. It looked like it had been built not long ago. Only Little Hay's eyes were sharp. She jumped down from Yang Wu's shoulder and rushed towards a corner. Soon, she came back with a stone in her mouth. Little ancestor is really amazing. You immediately discovered the spirit treasure in my cave. Black Baron smiled. Yang Wu looked at the black stone in Little Hay's mouth and asked, Little Hay, what kind of stone is this? The skinny monkey's eyes jumped as he cried out, There's a ball of energy inside this stone. When Yang Wu heard the skinny monkey's words, he opened his soul eye to take a look. Indeed, he discovered that this stone contained an incomparably pure energy. This energy belonged to the Black Xian Qi category. It was definitely a great supplement for cultivators who cultivated Black Xian Qi. This is a mysterious black essence stone. It's a heaven-grade material. Its greatest use is to increase the absorption of Black Xian Qi. It can also be used to forge heaven-grade weapons. Little Hay released her divine sense as she spoke. If Little Ancestor likes it, then take it. Black Baron said generously. If it was any other spirit demon, he would definitely fight them to the death. Only Little Hay was able to make him willingly give up such a high-grade material. Blackie nodded lightly and swallowed this piece of mysterious black essence stone into the universe space in his stomach, and he stored it for a rainy day. Black Baron had the other spirit demons bring out some spirit medicines and spirit springs to entertain Yang Wu and Little Hay. After Yang Wu sat down, he cut to the chase and said, Just now, you said that you wanted to move from here. What's going on? This place is about to become Death Valley's territory. If we don't move, what else can we do? Black Baron sighed. You know about Death Valley? Hurry up and tell me about it. Yang Wu said excitedly. Death Valley was the destination of his trip. It was clearly marked on the map. When he suddenly heard Black Baron mention this place, he couldn't hide his joy. Death Valley was the place where the Death Battle Emperor had obtained the Mark of Death. Yang Wu didn't come here for the Path of Death, but for the mysterious Essence Qi. The map had given him a faint feeling that he might be able to find a type of mysterious Essence Qi here. Black Baron told Yang Wu everything he knew. The Death Valley was a place that had existed for a very long time. Legend had it that a fierce battle had taken place there. There were humans, spirit demons, and some other races. Many living beings had died in that battle. That place had been blasted into a death valley by the power of the battle. Countless corpses had been buried there, and the place was filled with a thick miasma of death. Be it humans or demons, only death awaited them if they went near it. It was known as the Forbidden Area of the Wolf Smoke Mountain Range. The territory that Death Valley occupied wasn't small. The miasma of death was condensed within the valley and wouldn't easily spread outwards. However, in recent years, for some unknown reason, the miasma of death had begun to spread outwards. Although it didn't spread quickly, after a long time, it had already devoured a large area. Many spirit demons had died to the miasma of death, and the spirit demons nearby had no choice but to relocate their territories to avoid being devoured by the miasma. The Black Wild Wolf tribe's territory wasn't in this area to begin with, but rather deeper. It was because of the miasma of death that they had been forced to move here. Black Baron felt that it wasn't safe enough and would have to continue moving. The miasma of death would spread here sooner or later. Yang Wu understood the situation. The amount of miasma of death in Death Valley was increasing, so it was spreading. He said impatiently, "It seems that I have to hurry over and investigate it." He felt that it might be the mysterious essence Qi that was causing the miasma of death to spread. The mysterious essence Qi in the world was the essence of all kinds of rare energies. It had a unique power. The current situation in Death Valley seemed to be caused by a type of mysterious essence Qi. "Young Master Yang, don't be rash. Only death awaits you if you go there," Black Baron said. "It's fine. We're leaving," Yang Wu said as he left. When he reached the entrance of the cave, he stopped and said, "Black Baron, do you want the Heavenly Beast pill?" The Heavenly Beast pill was a pill that could help a heavenly beast advance. How could Black Baron not want it? He swallowed and said, "Young Master Yang, can you refine it?" "Of course, as long as you have enough ingredients and beast cores," Yang Wu said as he led the skinny monkey outside. Black Baron quickly chased after him and said, "Young Master Yang, take care. Let me send you off." After reaching the Heavenly Beast realm, it wasn't easy to continue advancing. There were very few heavenly beasts in the entire Wolf Smoke Mountain range. If he could advance by one level, the meaning would be completely different. Black Baron had to hug Yang Wu's leg tightly and put down his arrogance to send Yang Wu off. Yang Wu didn't mind. He directly sat on Black Baron's back and had him and Little Hay bring him to Death Valley. The skinny monkey, silver-patterned turtle, and fire cloud tiger followed from behind. Black Baron deliberately slowed down so that the skinny monkey, silver-patterned turtle, and fire cloud tiger could barely keep up. After about half a day, they arrived in front of a valley filled with miasma of death. Black Baron stopped in the distance and looked at the withered valley in front of him. "Young Master Yang, that is Death Valley. Take a look around and see if there's anything that can survive." Yang Wu and the skinny monkey looked around. This place was completely dark and barren. There wasn't even a single blade of grass that could survive. They could even vaguely see a few eerie white bones in front of them. Death Valley truly lived up to its name. The skinny monkey sucked in a cold breath and said, "This place is so eerie. Everything is filled with miasma of death. Just what happened here?" Suddenly, his eyes of fire and gold opened and he saw an extremely shocking scene. Chapter 477. On the ancient battlefield, there were many celestial soldiers, celestial generals, countless birds and beasts, as well as people from different races. They were all holding different weapons as they slaughtered each other. The terrifying power seemed to be able to shatter the heavens. Countless drops of fresh blood fell like rain as corpses fell one after another. The ground was littered with broken limbs. It could be said to be a scene from hell. The more the skinny monkey looked, the paler his face became. In the end, he fell to the ground as if he had just experienced a life and death battle. Yang Wu opened his soul eyes and saw the same scene. Cold sweat slid down his cheeks. Such an earth-shattering battle was beyond the scope of his imagination. He could already challenge a heavenly fish realm expert and was definitely one of the strongest in the transcendent realm. However, when he was placed in this scene, he found that he was so insignificant. There were celestial soldiers, celestial generals, top-grade spirit demons, and all kinds of people. Every single one of them was a super expert. They could pluck the stars and move the moon with a single hand. They had boundless battle strength and could be said to be extraordinary. Yang Wu immediately realized that this was an ancient battlefield. He faintly said, "This place has a great origin." Black Baron revealed a look of fear and said, "My clan's head said that this place might be related to another realm." "Big brother, are we going to go in?" The skinny monkey stood up and asked. You all can go back. I can go in alone. You won't be able to withstand the poison of death here." Yang Wu softly replied. "Big brother, it's better if you don't go. You won't be able to withstand it either," the skinny monkey advised. Yang Wu firmly said, "I have to go." After saying this, he walked down from Black Baron's body and prepared to walk into Death Valley. "Big brother, I'll go with you." The skinny monkey quickly followed and said firmly, "You don't understand the path of death. I'm afraid you won't be able to withstand the environment here. You should wait for me outside." Yang Wu said, "Big brother, don't look down on me. I have an eye technique and can see through everything here. The power outside can't do anything to me. Perhaps there will be some danger inside, but I can act according to the situation. I definitely won't be a burden to Big Brother," Skinny Monkey said confidently. After a pause he added, "Maybe there's something I'm looking for here. The broken rod has been wailing all this time." He took out the broken stick, and sure enough, it was shaking non-stop, as if it wanted to break free from his hand. Yang Wu hesitated for a moment, then took out a bottle of pills and stuffed it into the skinny monkey's hand, saying, "This is an antidote pill. Keep one in your mouth first. If you feel something is wrong, withdraw it." Then, he told the skinny monkey some information about the path of death, afraid that the skinny monkey would have an accident. The skinny monkey-like man accepted the bottle and placed one pill in his mouth. He then followed Yang Wu to the Death Valley. Yang Wu didn't walk for long before he waved at the silver-patterned turtle and said, "This heavenly soul pill is for you. If I can't come back, then go back to your old place and stay." The silver-patterned tortoise was instantly excited. This heavenly soul pill was a pill that strengthened the soul. It was extremely beneficial to its demon soul. Once it consumed it, it would be much easier for it to break through to the heavenly demon realm. "Many thanks, Master. I will definitely wait for you to come out," the silver-patterned turtle said very seriously. "Black Baron, take care of the fire cloud tiger. Don't let it be bullied in your territory," Yang Wu said to Black Baron before resolutely walking into the Death Valley. This time, Yang Wu felt uncertain. Perhaps this trip would be very dangerous, and even his life would be in danger. He could feel Little Hay's vigilance. Even if it didn't say anything, he could feel its cautiousness towards this place. Death Valley was shrouded in a dusky energy. This hazy energy was formed by the poisonous miasma of death. The energy on the outside was very weak, but after accumulating for many years, it was enough to cause many plants to wither and die. It was very difficult for them to grow here. Yang Wu opened his soul eye. He could see that the energy flowing here was filled with an evil aura. If it entered one's body, it would definitely cause problems. The skinny monkey didn't dare to withdraw his eyes of fire and gold. He continued to walk in the direction that the broken staff pointed. His body gradually emitted strands of fire energy, blocking the hazy energy that was attached to his body. As they went deeper, they heard gusts of chilly wind. They felt their bodies turn cold. Moreover, they saw some demonic beasts and wild beast skeletons scattered on the ground. From the appearance of these skeletons, they could tell that they hadn't been dead for very long. Woo woo! Suddenly, some remnant souls flew out from the left and right. They were like demons and ghosts. They attached themselves to the hazy energy and rushed towards Yang Wu and the skinny monkey. These remnant souls were very weak. They belonged to the power of Een spirits without any consciousness. When they felt the fluctuations of life, they reacted naturally and rushed towards Yang Wu and the skinny monkey. Ordinary king tiers couldn't see the existence of these remnant souls at all. They were all incorporeal. Yang Wu and the skinny monkey both had different pupils, so they could see them all. "Scram!" the skinny monkey shouted. He waved his broken staff and smashed it towards these remnant souls. This broken staff contained a thick fire xianqi. In an instant, all of these remnant souls were burned to ashes. Fire energy was the best way to restrain these remnant souls. Yang Wu didn't make a move. A thin layer of blue flames had already risen from his body, enveloping his entire body. When the remnant souls came into contact with his body, they quickly disappeared. The two of them continued forward. More and more remnant souls appeared. They combined with the hazy energy to form a gray storm that swept towards Yang Wu and the skinny monkey. "These ghosts really don't know their own strength," the skinny monkey said disdainfully. He prepared to use his true fire to burn all of these remnant souls. Yang Wu said, "Skinny monkey, don't be in such a hurry. Let me do it." Next, Yang Wu took out a urinal. He gently wiped the body of the urinal and said, "Collect them for me." The urinal was a holy item. Yang Wu had always found it hard to believe, but he had no choice but to believe little Hei's words. Last time, after the urinal had absorbed Heijin's soul, he believed that it might be a holy item that could absorb souls. Under Yang Wu's command, the urinal produced a suction force that sucked all of these remnant souls into the urinal. The skinny monkey stared with wide eyes as countless remnant souls entered the urinal. He couldn't help but cry out, "Big brother, this urinal is so powerful! I think it should be called the soul-suppressing urinal." Yang Wu shrugged. He thought to himself, perhaps the soul-suppressing urinal sounds better. With this batch of remnant souls, Lei Zhongjuan should be able to properly cultivate the ghost cultivation method. After a while, all of the remnant souls had been absorbed. Not a single one was able to escape. Lei Zhongjuan was wholeheartedly cultivating the ghost cultivation method in the urinal. After being nourished by Yang Wu's medicinal liquid and devouring Heijin's soul, the state of his soul was clearly much better. Cultivating the ghost cultivation method also improved a lot, which was very beneficial to the state of his soul. He saw more and more opportunities to be reborn, so he didn't give up any time to cultivate. However, he felt that if he cultivated step by step like this, it would take a long time before he could condense a physical body. He hoped that Yang Wu could give him more soul energy to replenish. Only then would he be able to greatly reduce the time it took to condense a physical body. Suddenly, there was a pile of remnant souls in the urinal. Although these remnant souls were incomparably weak and their energy was mixed, it was no doubt a long time coming. It was a very good replenishment. "Haha, this is very good. Refine all of them for me." Lei Zhongjuan let out a roar and activated the ghost cultivation method's devouring power. He swallowed and refined all of the remnant souls and continued to strengthen his soul. In the outside world, Yang Wu and the skinny monkey didn't continue to go in. They were starting to encounter new troubles. The death aura and poisonous miasma had reached a certain degree of density, which became a hindrance to them. The death aura was a gas produced after a corpse was corroded. It possessed the power to corrode life force. The death aura here also contained a poisonous miasma, which was the product of the combination of corpse poison and death aura. This kind of energy was very lethal to any living being. Once they came into contact with this energy, their life force would be corroded and taken away. This was also the reason why the Black Wild Wolf tribe had no choice but to quickly move their territory when this energy spread. Yang Wu possessed the Tao of Death, so he could clearly sense it. He said to the skinny monkey, "There is already a large amount of death aura here. I can absorb it without any problem, but you definitely can't absorb it. Remember to maintain a clear mind. Don't be confused by the energy here. Big brother, don't worry. I know what to do. The skinny monkey nodded and replied. Okay, let's go in, Yang Wu replied and continued forward with the skinny monkey. Just as they went in, the invisible death aura began to linger around them. Even though they had their primordial fire to burn away the miasma, the will of death in the world rushed into their divine court and began to wreak havoc on their souls. Yang Wu's divine court Tao flower flashed. The petal that contained the Tao of death began to absorb the will of death that rushed in. The Tao of death was drawn in and completely erupted. Yang Wu's soul was the first to be affected. He lost control of his emotions. It was as if he was in an ancient battlefield, watching countless experts fall around him. The earth-shattering battle scene was extremely shocking. Yang Wu was like a tiny ant in this place. Any force that struck him would be enough to kill him. The heavy sense of death was extremely intense. He didn't feel any chance of survival at all. The sword light split open the ground and killed dozens of experts. The blade came from the other end and wiped out dozens of great demons. Demon claws descended from the sky and clawed many experts into pools of blood. The sky was crying and the earth was trembling. Countless lives were dying. When the battle came to an end, all the experts had fallen. Even though he hadn't participated in the battle, his body and soul had perished. Chapter 478. In the Tao of Death, it was either you die or I die. This contained the true essence of martial Tao. Yang Wu had long since condensed the Tao seed of death, but that was only the tip of the iceberg. Through this martial Tao, he could cause his opponent to feel a bit of fear in the face of death. From there, he could disturb his opponent and find an opportunity to find an opening. In fact, once the true Tao of death was released, it could deprive a person of their life force and cause them to die on the spot. Now, Yang Wu could clearly sense the state others were in when they were killed. Their life force was slowly draining away, and there were two ways to die. One was the death of the soul, and the other was the death of the body. The former was the dissipation of the soul while the body was still alive, but as the soul disappeared, the body would quickly lose its vitality and die completely. The latter was the loss of a large amount of blood or serious injuries to the organs, causing the body to lose its vitality. Without vitality, the soul would also be affected and slowly dissipate. No matter what kind of death it was, it represented the loss of life. The highest realm of the Tao of death was to cause both the soul and the body to die at the same time. If one could reach this step, they would need to possess an extremely strong death aura. Only death aura could corrode a person's life force. Neither the soul nor the body could stop it. How could one reach this realm in the Tao of death? If one didn't personally experience it, how could they understand the true process of death? Just like the war monarch of death back then, he had almost died and then crawled back from the brink of death to condense the pure Tao of death once more. Now, Yang Wu had also entered a state of self-death. On the ancient battlefield, countless saber lights and sword shadows had put him to death. He felt his soul withering away and his body's vitality draining away. From a state of exuberant vitality, he gradually entered a state of withering vitality. This process could only be sensed and not described in words. This state was the true essence of the Tao of death. It was the existence of this power that Yang Wu was in danger. His actual state was that his body was gradually aging and the divine court Tao flower was slowly withering away. If this continued, he would soon die of old age here. Little Hay on Yang Wu's shoulder was completely unaffected. It could sense the changes in Yang Wu and murmured, "Yang Wu, whether or not you can fully comprehend the Tao of death depends on you now. I can't help you." Then, it looked at the skinny monkey. The skinny monkey had already released the power of his bloodline. His majestic blood chi erupted with a unique power that blocked the poisonous miasma. At the same time, the broken staff in his hand erupted with an inexplicable power, pulling him in one of the directions. Blackie didn't stop him. It muttered to itself, "The bloodline of that clan is indeed tyrannical. It can even isolate the power of death. And that broken stick, it has the same root as him. It seems like I can gain something from this place." Little Hay didn't waste time here with Yang Wu. It jumped down from Yang Wu's shoulder and wandered around as if it was searching for something. It didn't go very far, afraid that something would really happen to Yang Wu. With the passage of time, Yang Wu was already sitting on the ground. It was difficult to feel the existence of his vitality. He had also aged by more than 30 or 40 years. His hair was snow white, his skin was old, and his spirit was gone. Even his breathing had stopped. Was he already dead? Yang Wu wasn't dead. He still had a trace of vitality. This trace of vitality was in his dantian. The wisp of immortal qi wasn't affected by the Tao of Death at all. It was still active and maintained his last bit of vitality. The eye of the earth sea and the eye of the soul sensed it again. The divine court Tao flower, which had withered under the influence of the Tao of Death, slowly regained its vitality. The stem straightened and the petals bloomed again. The petal that contained the Tao of Death displayed a powerful tenacity. It retrieved the power of the Tao of Death one by one. As the power was retrieved, the vitality in his body recovered. The immortal qi flowed and power was injected into his body again. His weakened organs regained vitality and his aged skin was moisturized again. This was the process of reincarnation from death. It was incomparably miraculous. Yang Wu gradually regained his consciousness. He murmured, "People will grow old and die. Death is the process of losing vitality. It causes life to slowly age and die. The Tao of Death can deprive others of their vitality and cause them to die." Yang Wu understood the true essence of the Tao of Death. He could control the Tao of Death in his body and absorb the Qi of Death into his own power. He wasn't affected by the Qi of Death. Yang Wu stood up. His appearance recovered once again. He absorbed all the Qi of Death that enveloped him and completely merged it into his body. The death petals in the divine court Tao flower gathered all the Qi of Death. The petals turned black, representing the power of the Tao of Death. Yang Wu looked around and found that Shou Ho and Little Hay were gone. He shouted in panic, "Shou Ho, Little Hay, where are you?" He immediately searched the place for them, afraid that something had happened to them. Yang Wu kept shouting, but he didn't find Shou Ho and Little Hay. He also didn't find their bodies. He became even more nervous. Fortunately, Little Hay's consciousness transmitted to him at this time. "Little Wu, come inside." After Yang Wu heard this, he quickly rushed into the depths of the Qi of Death. The Qi of Death was very strong. Even heavenly fish realm experts couldn't withstand it. If they didn't retreat, not only would their lifespan be greatly affected, it would even shorten their lifespan. Yang Wu was no longer affected by the Tao of Death. As he went deeper, his comprehension of the Tao of Death deepened. When he exited this place, the power of the Tao of Death would reach a whole new level. After Yang Wu ran for a while, more and more remnant souls appeared. They were even more ferocious. Not only were there remnant souls of the human race, but there were also remnant souls of the monster race and some other special races. They howled and bared their fangs and claws at Yang Wu, wanting to tear Yang Wu to pieces. The soul-suppressing gourd in Yang Wu's hand played a great role. It absorbed all of these remnant souls without leaving a single one behind. Lei Zhongjuan, who was inside the soul-suppressing gourd, shouted excitedly, "You're really generous. After I cultivate a physical body, I'll definitely repay you well." As they went deeper, some corpses finally appeared in this area. These were the corpse clan that had mutated after death. After they sensed the vitality, they surrounded Yang Wu. They kept spitting corpse poison from their mouths, which contained a dense decaying aura. Yang Wu was still a teenager. This was the first time he had seen such a terrifying scene. He couldn't help but cry out, "Don't tell me I've come to hell." He didn't bother with these corpses. Instead, He quickened his pace and rushed in the direction of Little Hay. Roar! Roar! Some of these Een corpses were relatively powerful. They had already reached the King realm. They crawled up from the ground and madly chased after Yang Wu. Yang Wu had no choice but to attack as he forced his way in. Yang Wu kicked one of the Een corpses away, but its corpse continued to move forward. It was extremely horrifying. Another corpse demon charged at Yang Wu, but Yang Wu punched it until its flesh exploded. Its broken bones were still rushing toward Yang Wu. These were all dead things, so they didn't feel pain at all. They had to be completely destroyed before they would no longer attack. Yang Wu leaped continuously, dodging a large number of Een corpses. He also destroyed a dozen Een corpses before he approached Little Hay. There, he saw several huge corpses moving. These were terrifying sky corpses. Their combat power was comparable to that of a heavenly fish realm elite. Little Wu, come quickly. There are some good things here. Little Hay climbed on top of one of the sky corpses and called out to Yang Wu. Little Hay, where's Shou-Ho? Yang Wu asked. Don't worry about him. He has other opportunities. Just take care of yourself. Little Hay replied. Then it said, these sky corpses are quite strong. Play with them. Little Hay, don't mess around. Let them lie down quietly. I don't have that ability. In the next moment, Little Hay rode on the sky corpse and rushed toward Yang Wu. This was a Tyrannosaurus corpse. It was only a layer of skin and bones. Its skeleton was very large. Its bone claws turned into scythes and slashed at Yang Wu. Its attack speed was very fast. Ordinary heavenly fish realm elites might not be able to dodge it. This Tyrannosaurus corpse's attack was comparable to the combat power of a heavenly fish realm elite. This was quite a lot of pressure for Yang Wu. Yang Wu understood that this was Little Hay's test for him. He had to accept it even if he didn't want to. So he took out the Son of Heaven's sword and replied with a faint smile, I only need 3 moves to kill it. Little Wu, don't be overconfident. Little Hay replied. After it finished speaking, Yang Wu dodged the Tyrannosaurus corpse's attack. He turned into a ghostly figure and appeared behind the Tyrannosaurus corpse. The Son of Heaven's sword in his hand struck out in an instant. A series of sword shadows crazily twisted toward the Tyrannosaurus corpse's tail. Meteor sword, first sword, chasing stars and moon. Meteor sword, second sword, stars like rain. Meteor sword, third sword, rainbow starlight. All this time, Yang Wu was used to slow down his attacks. Now that he had just started, he exploded with such shocking killing power. Little Hay definitely did not expect this. The meteor sword was a heavenly skill that Yang Wu had obtained from He-Zhen, and in Yang Wu's hands, it was extremely powerful. In that instant, 3 moves exploded out at the same time, and countless meteor sword shadows with sharp sword lights shot through the entire area. The Tyrannosaurus corpse's reaction was obviously not fast enough. It was instantly engulfed by these sword shadows. After this wave of sword shadows swept past, the Tyrannosaurus corpse's huge body was cut into countless pieces. Its body fell to the ground with a loud bang. Little Hay had unknowingly jumped onto another heavenly corpse's head. She smiled and said, Little Wu, you have some skills. Let's see if you can deal with 3 heavenly corpses at the same time. Go. Beat Little Wu until his head is swollen. The 3 heavenly corpses nearby seemed to really listen to Little Hay's call. They all started to attack Yang Wu. Right at this moment, a figure holding a huge saber appeared not far from them. Chapter 479. The 3 sky corpses were respectively a tiger corpse, a python corpse, and a barbarian corpse. Their bodies were corroded beyond recognition, and a thick death chi was released from their bodies. They besieged Yang Wu at the same time, and turned the surroundings upside down. Yang Wu was only at the advanced Earth-Sea realm. It wasn't easy for him to fight against 3 sky corpses at the same time. He first dodged and then chose to counterattack. However, these 3 sky corpses were much more agile than the T-Rex. Even if they were dead, They had undergone mutation and belonged to the corpse race. They had the ability to attack instinctively. The tiger corpse quickly pounced at Yang Wu, the python corpse opened its bloodless mouth and bit at Yang Wu, and the barbarian corpse swung its fist at Yang Wu. The barbarian corpse attacked from three sides with surging momentum. Yang Wu was like an agile monkey, constantly moving his body and cleverly dodging their attacks. He also guided the three sky corpses to collide with each other, causing considerable damage to each of them. "Little Wu, don't be a coward," Little Hay hooted from the python corpse. Yang Wu ignored Little Hay and continued to dodge. There were a few times where he almost failed to dodge in time. Fortunately, they had lost their intelligence. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to dodge so easily. "I'll use you guys to practice my sword," Yang Wu shouted. He first locked onto the barbarian corpse. It was the strongest among the three sky corpses. If he destroyed it first, the other two wouldn't be a threat. The barbarian corpse repeatedly swung its barbaric fists, causing the air to crackle non-stop. Yang Wu pushed his wind god's legs talent to the extreme and displayed the speed of a scud kick. He turned into a series of afterimages and dodged the barbarian corpse's attack. The Son of Heaven's sword kept slashing out. One strike after another was astonishingly fast, like a meteor falling, fast and ruthless. Many sword flowers landed on the barbarian corpse. Yang Wu thought that he could easily kill it, but who knew that these sword flowers would only produce clanking sounds when they landed on the barbarian corpse. They were unable to destroy it. "So hard!" Yang Wu exclaimed. While he was distracted, the barbarian corpse's fist landed on his chest. Although he retreated quickly, more than half of the barbarian corpse's brute force still landed on his body, shattering his armor and sending him flying. The barbarian corpse continued its pursuit, and the other two sky corpses also arrived. "Woof, woof. Little Wu Zi, let's see how you can continue to be so smug." Every single heavenly corpse was a very powerful existence when they were alive. Otherwise, how could they preserve their bodies? Little Hay laughed. "If that's the case, then let's go all out." Yang Wu had no choice but to do his best to kill these three sky corpses. Meteor sword. Yang Wu repeatedly thrusted out this heaven skill. Streaks of blue profound chi turned into rainbows and exploded in front of the three sky corpses. The three sky corpses used all kinds of methods to block Yang Wu's attack. They also launched a fierce counterattack. The sky corpses were not afraid of death and had no emotions. They attacked wave after wave, causing Yang Wu to continuously reveal his flaws. His body was continuously injured. If it wasn't for his strong physical body, this wave of attacks would have been enough to take his life. Moreover, there was also the corrosive poison barrier, which was very fatal. Yang Wu was angered by the attacks. He activated his battle blood, and his body was filled with energy. He moved his wind god's leg and continuously attacked with the Son of Heaven's sword. Soon, Meteor Sword was cultivated to the large success stage of the soul body as one realm. The power of the sword increased greatly, and with the attack of the sword intent, he was finally able to injure the sky corpses. Corpses were, after all, corpses. Their vitality had long faded away. Even if they had mutated, they still had a huge flaw. They did not have intelligence, and could not carry out exquisite coordination to kill Yang Wu. Moreover, they could not display their original talent. Their attacks were extremely simple. After Yang Wu activated his battle blood talent, both his speed and attack increased by several times. He caught their flaws and defeated them. Little Hay had been watching Yang Wu's battle. She secretly nodded and said, "After being oppressed again and again, Little Wu Zi's battle strength has increased a lot. However, it's still not enough." At this moment, her gaze looked in one direction. A strange light flashed in her canine eyes. She had already discovered that there were other experts lurking in the distance. After Yang Wu killed the three sky corpses, he could finally catch his breath. He mobilized his strength to expel the corpse poison from his body. The corpse poison was extremely vicious. Even a heavenly fish realm expert would find it difficult to expel it. Only a blessed child like Yang Wu, who was blessed by the heavens with great luck, could be fearless of the corpse poison. Just as Yang Wu thought that he could quietly adjust his breathing for a while, an arc-shaped black saber light suddenly cut through the sky and slashed toward Yang Wu. This saber came too suddenly. Yang Wu was completely unprepared. Even if his soul force was extraordinary, he did not have time to completely dodge. He hurriedly raised the Son of Heaven's sword above his head to block the saber. Clang! Yang Wu's Son of Heaven's sword was slashed out of his hand by this terrifying saber strike. Blood instantly gushed out from the web between his thumb and index finger. His shoulder was ruthlessly slashed by the saber, and blood spurted out wildly. If his Son of Heaven's sword had not blocked most of the power, this saber strike would have been enough to split him in half. Yang Wu revealed an extremely shocked expression. His body was retreating, and he endured the pain as he rolled over and over. The saber light that continuously slashed down had cut deep grooves where he was. The destructive power was extremely terrifying. Yang Wu discovered that the strength of this opponent who had suddenly appeared completely suppressed him. It was definitely a super expert comparable to a high-level heavenly fish realm expert. After the figure that attacked slashed 3 times in a row, it stopped. The death aura and poisonous barrier gradually dispersed, revealing its true appearance. It was a monster with a human face and a beast's body. Its upper body was that of a human with a head and 2 arms. Its lower body was that of a horse demon with 4 limbs and a ponytail. It looked rather strange. This monster also had 2 goat horns on its head. Its eyes were glaring at Yang Wu. Clouds of death aura burst out from it, and it held a huge sickle in its hand. This sickle was like a crescent moon, emitting a dense baleful aura. It was like a blade of death, and it would definitely cut off a person's head. Yang Wu cried out, "What kind of monster is this?" Roar. The monster let out an angry roar. Its voice contained a terrifying destructive power, causing the ground in all directions to crack. Countless corpses and bones were sent flying. Yang Wu instantly felt his eardrums burst. The stimulating sound wave pierced into his ears and entered his body, wreaking havoc in his internal organs. In an instant, blood flowed out of his 7 orifices. Such an attack was too terrifying. How could Yang Wu cope with it? Just as this wave of attacks fell, another voice rang out. Then, a shadow rushed over. It was Skinny Monkey, who had activated his bloodline. He was not holding a broken stick in his hand, but a complete long stick. Carrying a raging fire, he smashed it towards the monster with a human face and a beast body. The power of the Skinny Monkey's stick was very domineering. It was completely beyond the scope of his strength in the past. It had definitely reached the combat strength of the heavenly fish realm. The human-faced beast slashed at the Skinny Monkey with its death sickle. The sickle and the long stick intertwined, and there was a burst of fierce sparks. The Skinny Monkey was only forced back a few steps. He was not injured by the human-faced beast. "How dare you stand in my way, little human? Get out of my way. I'm going to kill you," the Skinny Monkey roared. Then, the long stick in his hand slammed wildly at the human-faced beast. Every strike had the power to overturn rivers and seas. The surging power of the stick was accompanied by intense true fire. All of them enveloped the human-faced beast. The human-faced beast roared in response. It kept slashing at the Skinny Monkey with its death sickle. The 2 sides engaged in an extremely fierce battle. Boom! Boom! This terrifying combat strength had exceeded the power of the advanced heavenly fish realm. It was completely comparable to the collision of the top heavenly fish realm. The destructive power was so terrifying that even Yang Wu hurriedly hid far away for fear of being affected by this power. "What's wrong with the Skinny Monkey? Is he possessed by something?" Yang Wu exclaimed in his heart. He was very clear about the Skinny Monkey's combat strength. The power that the Skinny Monkey was unleashing now did not come from him. Moreover, from what he had just said, there were some clues. At this time, Little Hay rushed to Yang Wu's side and said, "Don't worry about him. His body is only being controlled. His soul has not been devoured." "What is controlling his body?" Yang Wu was extremely nervous. "You'll know if you use your soul eye," Little Hay replied. Yang Wu did not say anything and opened his soul eye. His gaze fell on the skinny monkey's body. Sure enough, he saw that the skinny monkey was shrouded in a layer of unknown power. This power did not belong to the skinny monkey. It was this power that was controlling the skinny monkey's body, causing it to explode with extremely powerful power. Yang Wu took a closer look. This power was another shadow. It looked very similar to the skinny monkey, but it was definitely not the skinny monkey. He murmured, "Could it be the skinny monkey's ancestor?" "Probably from the same lineage," Little Hay said from the side. Then, it said, "That kid's opportunity is not inferior to yours. He should be entering the stage of rapid improvement. Don't fall behind. Hurry up and kill this human-faced beast. There's a passage in the place it's guarding. Perhaps there's another type of Xian essence Qi inside." Little Hay said, "It's difficult for me to participate in a battle of this level." "What is your potential for? You have to know how to make good use of it." With Little Hay's reminder, Yang Wu decided to wait for an opportunity to act. As long as the human-faced beast showed a weakness, he would immediately attack. Yang Wu mobilized his strength to heal his injuries. The Xian Qi in his body churned wave after wave. The eye of the earth sea and his soul eye formed the heaven and earth profound bridge. The heavens court Tao flower and his dantian merged together. The Xian Qi circulated at an extremely fast speed. His limbs, bones, and internal organs were all cleansed several times. His spirit reached its peak. It was also at this moment that the skinny monkey and the human-faced beast fiercely clashed. The human-faced beast showed a slight weakness. Yang Wu's soul eye pulsed. A beam of soul light shot towards the forehead of the human-faced beast. Soul Extinguisher. Chapter 480. The human-faced beast was a corpse, but it had an incomparably powerful fighting strength. That was because there was a soul pulsing between its eyebrows. It was the soul that controlled the human-faced beast to fight, or rather, it was the soul of the human-faced beast. It hadn't disappeared, and it still had a powerful fighting strength. Yang Wu's soul eye fell on the soul of the human-faced beast. The overbearing soul attack affected the soul of the human-faced beast. Although it couldn't really destroy it, it could stop it from continuing to attack. Die! The skinny monkey seized this opportunity and raised the long stick in his hand high. Terrifying true fire soared into the sky and smashed the head of the human-faced beast in the next moment. Bang! The head of the human-faced beast instantly burst open, and a ball of soul power drilled out. A mournful voice sounded, "If you dare to enter the boundary, you'll die a horrible death. It's none of your business. Die for me." The skinny monkey-like figure responded in a domineering manner. He then waved his fiery stick at the soul force. The soul force tried to flee to the back, where a black hole appeared. It was the place where the poisonous miasma was the densest and most overbearing. Anyone who dared to approach it would die. "Can you escape?" Yang Wu sneered. He raised the soul-suppressing pot and quickly collected the soul that was about to escape. The ball of soul screamed as it was sucked in, "How dare you destroy my darkness emissary clone? You'll die a horrible death." No matter how it struggled and screamed, it couldn't escape from the soul-suppressing pot. The human-faced beast was subdued. Yang Wu put away the soul-suppressing pot, and then rushed towards the skinny monkey. He shouted, "Who are you? Why are you controlling my brother?" If he hadn't used his soul eye to see that the power controlling the skinny monkey was 70% similar to the skinny monkey's, he would have used the power of his soul eye to attack the skinny monkey instead of coming forward to question him. "You don't need to know who this lord is. I won't hurt him," the skinny monkey-like figure responded indifferently. His gaze fell on the position of the dense death gas poison barrier, and two streams of true fire burst out from his pupils. Bang! The power of the true fire was incomparably sharp. It burned and exploded at the location of the poisonous miasma. Many of the miasma dissipated, revealing a door of darkness. The door of darkness wasn't very big. It was only the size of a person. Furthermore, there was an unstable element pulsing within it. It contained an incomparably dangerous aura. "Finally, we can leave this damned place," Skinny Monkey said excitedly as he raised his staff and rushed towards the door of darkness. "Stop, don't take my brother away," Yang Wu cried out in alarm, wanting to stop the Skinny Monkey, but his speed was still too slow. He could only watch as the Skinny Monkey entered the door of darkness. Yang Wu was just about to give chase when Little Hei's voice sounded. "Don't be in such a hurry to give chase. It's not that easy to pass through the spirit formation gate. Clean up the battlefield first, so that I can take a look at the situation inside." Yang Wu trusted Little Hei completely. He stopped and said, "Little Hei, take a good look. I don't want anything to happen to Skinny Monkey." "You don't have to worry about me," Little Hei replied confidently. She then arrived in front of the door of darkness and shot a sharp light into the door of darkness. Yang Wu took the opportunity to clean up the battlefield. His gaze was fixed on the death scythe. It was definitely a rarely seen weapon. When Yang Wu picked it up, a wave of death aura immediately swept towards him, wanting to corrode his entire arm. He was not afraid of this power. Instead, he activated the power of the Path of Death and poured it into the death scythe. In an instant, the death scythe exploded with an extremely terrifying amount of death aura. At the same time, balls of death aura continuously surged from the surroundings, forming a death aura storm. Yang Wu felt that the death scythe was very heavy. It was at least a battle blade with a force of over 10,000 kilograms. Furthermore, it possessed an extraordinary amount of strength. It was definitely not something that the heavenly fish could compare to. He muttered, "Could it be a saint weapon?" Yang Wu did not dwell on this matter. He put the death scythe away. With it, he could greatly utilize the power of the Path of Death. It could be used as a trump card. Afterwards, he searched the surroundings and found 3 stalks of herbs that could grow here. They were herbs that contained a poisonous fog of death aura. They were called death poison grass. This was definitely an extremely poisonous plant. If a heavenly fish realm powerhouse were to consume this kind of plant, they would immediately die. This kind of herb was not necessary for any cultivator. Only those who were evil would collect this herb to harm others. As an alchemist, Yang Wu had an incomparable understanding of the medicinal properties of all kinds of herbs. Even poisons had their uses. The 3 stalks of death poison grass in front of him could indeed be used to refine terrifying poison pills. They could also be used to refine some special pills, using poison to fight poison. Yang Wu did not let go of these 3 stalks of death poison grass and carefully put them away. In addition, he searched for the broken bones of the sky corpses from before. He picked out some intact bones and used blue enchantress to refine them. He burned away the poisonous fog of death aura that had seeped into them and put away these bones. Not only could these bones be used to refine pills, but they could also be used to refine weapons. They were all bones left behind by powerhouses and had great uses. After Yang Wu finished doing all of this, he once again walked towards the door of darkness. The door of darkness was originally shrouded in death aura. No matter who came, it would be difficult to discover its existence. Unless they could remove the poisonous fog of death aura one by one, they would not be able to discover the door of darkness. But who would want to provoke such an evil and deadly force? Yang Wu arrived at the door of darkness. Before he could speak, Little Hei spoke first. "This door is going to be destroyed." Yang Wu asked in shock, "Why?" Shou-ho had already entered the door. If this door was destroyed, how could he save Shou-ho? The energy of this door is already unstable. After that guy went in, He touched the incomplete laws here. It would be strange if this door was not destroyed. Little Hay said. After pausing for a moment, it continued, I advise you not to go in. Once the power inside explodes, even if you are a heavenly fish realm powerhouse, you will still die. Yang Wu was silent for a moment. Then he said, I want to go in. The mysterious essence Qi might be inside. Yang Wu had come here for the mysterious essence Qi. However, after coming here, the Sovereign Nine Mysteries formula had not fluctuated much. He wondered if there was any mysterious essence Qi here. Now that he was close to the door of darkness, he could feel a very weak response from the Sovereign Nine Mysteries formula. He felt that the mysterious essence Qi might be inside the door of darkness. Then let's go. Little Hay had no choice but to go in. It was linked to Yang Wu's fate. Whether Yang Wu could grow or not, it meant that its power could continue to be unsealed. Yang Wu had no choice. He took out a heaven-grade defensive armor and put it on. Then he directly stepped into the door of darkness. This heaven-grade defensive armor was one of the spoils of war he had obtained from killing He Zhen and Ji Tangping. Yang Wu didn't know what dangers lay behind the door of darkness, nor did he know where it led. He only knew that saving his brothers and finding the mysterious essence Qi were his two goals. Little Hay followed him closely. She jumped onto his shoulder and accompanied Yang Wu into the door of darkness. When Yang Wu stepped into the door of darkness, he felt an inexplicable power flow. He instantly felt the world spin around him. It was as if he had entered a space-time tunnel. He couldn't control his body. He was dizzy and couldn't think at all. This was the first time he had encountered something like this. Little Hay's consciousness rang out. Guard your mind and use your heart to feel. This is a boundary passage. The power is unstable. After receiving Little Hay's reminder, Yang Wu hurriedly activated the power of the Divine Court Dao Flower. He quickly stabilized his mind and sensed everything around him. He tried to adapt to the environment here. There was an inexplicable power flowing here. It transported him in an unknown direction. His body was constantly spinning. If he didn't control it, he would inevitably encounter some unknown danger. Thinking of this, Yang Wu activated the Supreme Nine Profound Art. His Xian Qi flowed through his body over and over again. His soul and body fused together again. He forcefully used this power to stabilize his body. Just as he was rejoicing, the power here suddenly became even more terrifying. It swept toward him like a storm. Little Hay cried out in alarm. Little Wu, quickly use all your strength to defend yourself. Yang Wu didn't have time to think. He used all his strength to wrap himself tightly in order to avoid being strangled by the power. This power was too terrifying. The Xian Qi armor on Yang Wu's body was like paper and was easily torn apart. Fortunately, he still had a celestial soldier's armor, which continued to block for him. However, it was still not enough. The lethality of this power was too terrifying. You want to hurt me with a mere boundary power? All of you, scram! This time, Little Hay was angry. It roared and a powerful force spread out. It enveloped itself and Yang Wu, forcibly blocking the boundary power. Little Hay was really powerful. Its young body contained a very terrifying power. Ever since it fought with the heavenly demon Flood Dragon, it hadn't fought again. Yang Wu didn't know how much of its power had recovered or what level it had reached. Now, he could clearly feel that Little Hay's combat power was definitely not inferior to a high-level heavenly demon. It was even possible that it was a top-level heavenly demon. Little Hay had resisted the heavenly lightning many times. The heavenly lightning couldn't hurt it at all. It could only unlock the power in its body bit by bit. This was also related to Yang Wu's increase in combat power. Little Hay, where does this lead to? Yang Wu asked Little Hay when their situation had stabilized. How would I know where it leads to? Maybe it leaves the mortal realm and reaches the transcendent realm. Maybe it enters a spatial rift or some other unknown space. Little Hay replied. Then, it sensed an even more powerful force sweeping toward it. It couldn't help but exclaim, "Little Wu, get ready. This boundary space is about to be destroyed." Rumble Rumble. Chapter 481. The destruction of the barrier passage meant that the great power contained in it had been exhausted. There was no way to maintain the rules and continue to move forward. The destructive power it had created was enough to turn even those in the heavenly fish realm into dregs. Even those in the dragon transformation realm might not be able to survive. From this, it could be seen just how terrifying the destructive power of the barrier was. Yang Wu and Little Hay received an unprecedented impact. Little Hay's power could not block it at all, and it completely exploded. The man and the dog both received a destructive impact at the same time. The heavenly robe on Yang Wu's body instantly exploded. His body received a terrifying impact, and he completely lost consciousness in the blink of an eye. After an unknown period of time, Yang Wu finally regained some consciousness. He heard some people talking to each other. "Little junior sister, we don't even know where this dying guy came from. Why are you saving him? Could it be that you've fallen in love with him because he's handsome?" "What are you talking about, senior sister? We monks are merciful, and it's our duty to heal the wounded and dying. No matter which force he comes from, we should save him. Sigh, I know you have a kind heart, but we're fighting on the Heaven King rankings. What you're doing will harm all of us. Senior sister, why don't you go first and let me take care of him? Am I still alive?" Yang Wu asked himself weakly. Soon, he fainted again. Night fell and a cold wind blew. There was a bright moon in the sky, and it chased away the phantoms in the night. Yang Wu's body trembled, and he couldn't help but mutter, "Cold, so cold. You're awake. I'll start a fire for you." A clear and pleasant voice sounded in his ears. This voice was like a trickle of water that slowly flowed into Yang Wu's ears. It seemed to inject a wave of energy into him, and his body and mind were cleansed. His body gradually warmed up, and he felt much better. The fire was burning, and the power of the fire touched the fire in Yang Wu's heart. Blue Demonis woke up on its own and slowly absorbed the fire into its heart. It also emitted heat to drive away the coldness in his body. As this energy flowed through his body, Yang Wu finally regained consciousness. He hurriedly looked inside his body and was completely stunned. His immaculate body was badly damaged. Many of his meridians were ruptured, his internal organs were displaced and bleeding, and his bones were broken. He was like a man made of glass, and a light touch would shatter his body into pieces. What a miserable situation this was! The most important thing was that his dantian was also affected. That strand of immortal energy circled around his dantian, protecting it. It didn't nourish his body like before. No wonder his body was in such a bad state. These were all internal injuries, and the external injuries were even more tragic. His entire body was covered in shocking scars, and anyone who saw it would feel heartache and shed tears. Yang Wu had experienced countless life and death situations and was injured many times, but this was the first time he had suffered such terrible injuries. With his current injuries, he was basically a cripple. No matter what level an expert was at, if he was injured like this, there was no way he could survive. It was already a miracle that he was still alive. At the same time, Yang Wu also discovered that there was a lump of medicinal energy in his body. It was this medicinal energy that awakened his life force. Yang Wu hurriedly tried to circulate the Regal 9 Mysteries formula. Just as he was doing this, he felt a wave of pain. His meridians were ruptured and his power was blocked. He couldn't circulate it at all. Yang Wu couldn't help but let out a blood-curdling scream, scaring the girl beside him. That girl said, "Don't move, your body is very bad. You can't breathe." At this time, what entered Yang Wu's eyes was a pure young nun. She wore a nunnery hat, revealing her delicate face. Her pair of big eyes were like bright moons, full of spirituality. If one looked at her, It would be easy to fall into her eyes and be unable to extricate oneself. She wore an ordinary gray robe, tightly wrapped around her exquisite figure, concealing her charm and adding a bit of simplicity. At this time, another young nun walked over and said, "Junior sister, he has already woken up. We don't need to care about him anymore. It's time to complete our mission." This young nun obviously didn't like to bring Yang Wu along. She felt that he was dragging them down. Now, she gave her junior sister an ultimatum. "Senior sister, his injuries are so serious. If we leave him here, he will be eaten by vicious beasts." The young nun said with a compassionate expression. The young nun said resentfully, "If you insist on saving him, you will implicate all of us and we won't be able to complete our mission. Moreover, you still have to fight for the Heavenly King ranking and fight for the glory of our Heng Shan lineage. You should be clear about which is more important." Another 3 nuns came over to persuade the young nun in front of them. They all complained that she shouldn't be delayed by a strange man. The young nun was in a difficult position. She struggled for a while and said, "Senior sisters, let me take care of him for one more night. After tonight, I will continue to carry out the mission with you." The nuns present all knew the young nun's position in their faction. They couldn't force her and allowed her to take care of Yang Wu for one more night. These nuns all glared at Yang Wu with dissatisfaction and sat far away. They didn't want to stay with him. The young nun looked at Yang Wu with an apologetic expression and said, "I'm sorry. My senior sisters don't have any bad intentions. They are just anxious about the mission for the Heavenly King ranking. If we can't complete it, not only will our Heng Shan sect be humiliated, but our status in the 5 Peak Mountains will also be damaged. This is something my senior sisters and master don't want to see. I also want to contribute to the mountain sect. I have already delayed a lot of time to take care of you these days, so I might not be able to take care of you tomorrow." This was a very kind-hearted young nun. She was also a young nun who didn't have any ulterior motives. In just a few words, she exposed her identity and what she wanted to do. Yang Wu had never heard of these factions and didn't know where he was. He looked at the young nun who didn't have any ulterior motives and felt a wave of warmth in his heart. This was his savior. He definitely couldn't make things difficult for her. He said with difficulty, "Thank you. Don't worry about me. No. Actually, I really want to save you, but your body's condition is too bad. Your meridians are all broken. Even if I gave you a healing pill, it would still be difficult to heal you. Unless I could ask my martial uncle to help you refine a high-grade pill, perhaps you would still have hope of recovery. Unfortunately, she isn't here." The young nun replied with guilt. What a kind young girl. For an unrelated person, she even planned to ask her martial uncle to refine a high-grade pill for him. This was a huge favor. Every high-grade pill was priceless. If one didn't take out something of the same value, there was no way to trade for it. Did this young nun not know? You don't have to blame yourself. A kind-hearted girl like you will definitely be rewarded in the future. Yang Wu said weakly. The young nun reluctantly smiled and said, "We monks don't ask for anything in return." After pausing for a moment, she took out a pill and said, "I also have a healing pill here. You should take it first. Even if it can't help you recover, it can at least make you feel a bit better. This is all I can do." Finished speaking, she put the pill into Yang Wu's mouth. Yang Wu didn't even have the chance to refuse. "King-level healing pill," Yang Wu said with surprise in his heart. He didn't think that this young nun would be so generous. This kind of pill's value was not low. Yang Wu silently remembered this kindness. He vowed to give this young nun a great reward. Yang Wu didn't delay any longer. He urgently wanted to recover. He wanted to figure out where this place was so that he could be prepared at any time. He felt that this place wasn't very peaceful. After the young nun fed Yang Wu the pill, she said, "You should rest well. If there's anything you can call me. I'll meditate by your side tonight." Yang Wu softly replied and closed his eyes. The young nun sighed and meditated by Yang Wu's side. Yang Wu's meridians were broken, his internal organs were damaged, his bones were broken, and his body was crippled. The only way to survive was the immortal qi in his dantian. Only by activating it could he recover quickly. After looking inside for a while, he thought of the mysterious bridge of heaven and earth formed by the soul eye and the eye of the earth sea. Only in this way could he make the immortal qi work. This strand of immortal qi belonged to the original power of the peach of immortality. It was protecting his dantian. The power in Yang Wu's dantian was not damaged. He had power, but he couldn't use it. This was the reason why he couldn't recover. Soul eye open. Yang Wu used his powerful soul power to open his soul eye. He shot it directly below his dantian and connected with the eye of the earth sea in his dantian. When the power of the soul eye rushed down, the sealed dantian was finally opened. The profound qi in his dantian was constantly churning. The eye of the earth sea spun rapidly, bursting with a mass of power. The soul eye combined together to form the heaven and earth profound bridge. This was an ability that only the heavenly fish realm could possess. Yang Wu could do it when he broke through to the earth sea realm. When the heaven and earth profound bridge was opened, one could absorb the profound qi of heaven and earth from the outside world for one's own use. This was the ability of the heavenly fish realm expert. With the opening of the heaven and earth profound bridge, the strand of immortal qi finally became active. As the heaven and earth profound bridge moved, the meridians, organs, and bones began to be nourished. Little by little, the injuries on the body were healed. The effect was not as good as usual, but it was really happening. Yang Wu was overjoyed. I'm saved. He didn't like the fact that he couldn't fight and couldn't take care of himself. He didn't want to drag this kind young nun down. He wanted to recover faster. However, at this moment, a wave of danger approached. A few tender humans. They're perfect to fill the gap between my teeth. A gloomy voice sounded. Chapter 482. For such a voice to suddenly appear in this quiet night sky, it was very frightening. The nuns here held onto their weapons and entered a battle state. The young nun next to Yang Wu also jumped up. However, her movements were clearly shaky, and her expression was extremely nervous. She probably did not have much battle experience. Junior Martial Sister, quickly come over to our side. A yaksha has appeared, a nun called out. Senior Martial Sister, I want to protect this benefactor, the young nun replied with a stutter. Look at the situation now. Why are you still paying attention to him? This yaksha is very strong, and we won't be able to protect him, another nun replied. I. The young nun was so conflicted that she could not say anything. All of you will become my food. Don't be anxious. A tall black figure carrying a trident appeared not far away from the nuns. This was a yaksha. It had a tall and thin figure and looked very ferocious. Its skin was completely black, and it was hard to notice when it blended into the night. There was also a pair of fleshy wings on its back and a curled tail. It emitted waves of dark aura all over its body. The yaksha race was an evil race. It was said that they had been exiled and did not wish to stay in this world. We were still worried that we wouldn't be able to find you yakshas. It's great that you're here. Kill it. A bold nun let out a cry and charged toward the yaksha with a long sword. In that instant, streams of silver sword light flashed in the night sky, heading straight for the yaksha. This nun's battle prowess was not bad, and she was already at the high level of the Earth-Sea realm. Amongst the 10 or so nuns here, she was considered average. Don't be careless. I'll accompany you. Another nun let out a cry and also charged out with her battle sword. The yaksha walked over unhurriedly. It waved the trident in its hand, and a domineering power appeared, shattering the many sword lights. There was even a powerful force that swept out toward the two nuns. The yaksha's battle prowess was not to be underestimated, and it managed to seriously injure the two nuns with a single move. This could be heavenly yiksha. Let's attack together, another nun cried out. The other nuns quickly joined the battle, surrounding and attacking the yiksha. These nuns were all experts in the Earth-Sea realm. None of them were lower than this realm. There were even some who were at the peak of the Earth-Sea realm, and none of them were over 30 years old. This was definitely not a strength that the geniuses of the mortal world could possess. Could it be that this was the transcendent world? At this moment, the young nun guarding Yang Wu said, "Stay here, I'll go help my senior sisters." The young nun mustered up her courage and joined the battle with a soft sword. This 16 or 17-year-old nun was actually at the Earth-Sea realm. Moreover, she had reached the peak of the Earth-Sea realm. Her talent was definitely that of a super genius. Yang Wu was lying on the ground. When he sensed this scene, he was stunned. He muttered in his heart, "Could it be that I've really come to the transcendent world?" He didn't have time to think about it blindly. He had to recover his battle strength as soon as possible. Otherwise, if another yiksha appeared, he would definitely die. He could no longer sense Little Hei's existence. Little Hei also didn't send him any messages. They were probably separated. As the heaven and earth profound bridge was set up, immortal energy nourished his entire body. His meridians were connected one by one. He could finally barely circulate the regal 9 profound art. He could use the energy in his dantian. His 1,000 orifices spewed out multicolored mist, which combined with the immortal energy. His 12 standard meridians were able to circulate. Yang Wu wasn't satisfied with his current recovery speed. He began to refine the medicinal power of the healing pill to help him recover faster. The effect of the king-level healing pill was very obvious, but Yang Wu clearly discovered that there was still a big gap between the efficacy of this healing pill and the one he refined. The efficacy of the healing pill he refined was much more obvious. From this, it could be seen that the level of the alchemist who refined this healing pill was not very good. If the young nun heard what Yang Wu was thinking, she would definitely be very sad. This was because this pill was refined for her by her martial uncle. Her martial uncle was the best alchemist among the younger generation in the sect. Yang Wu had no choice but to refine another healing pill from his Qian Kuan space. He tried his best to heal his injuries by using both methods at the same time. On the other side, the battle was getting more and more intense. A dozen nuns joined forces to besiege the yiksha. They formed a formation and attacked and defended very well. They forced the yiksha to be unable to defeat them in one fell swoop. "You bunch of troublesome humans. Do you really think I can't do anything to you?" The yiksha roared impatiently. It waved the trident to form a black storm. It carried a thick decaying aura as it continuously charged toward the nuns. The nuns used all their strength and combined with the power of the formation to forcibly block this wave of attack. After blocking this attack, their strength was quite obvious. The formation also became slightly disrupted. The yiksha began to counterattack. Bang! No one knew what method the yiksha used, but there was a shocking explosion in its position. Its figure completely disappeared, and even its aura could not be sensed. The nuns panicked. The leader of the nuns ordered, "Quick, everyone back to back. Don't be defeated by it one by one." Just as she gave the order, the yiksha had already appeared beside one of the nuns. Its trident pierced the nun's body and killed her. "Junior sister, senior sister." The nuns cried out involuntarily. Then, they frantically attacked the yiksha again. Countless sword rays formed a sword net, enveloping the world. However, the yiksha disappeared in front of their eyes again. When it appeared again, another nun was killed. "Hee, none of you can escape," the yiksha sneered. The leader of the nuns anxiously shouted to the young nun, "Junior sister Qingjing, use your talent to find it, or we will all die here." "Oh, I'll try," the young nun replied nervously. The young nun began to form a seal in front of her chest. A ball of inexplicable holy light emerged from her chest. This was a talent belonging to the heart. Just as this ball of holy light appeared, the Yaksha had already appeared behind the young nun. Its trident pierced the young nun's back. Junior sister, be careful. Everyone had already seen the Yaksha appear behind the young nun with the help of the power of holy light. Everyone's expression changed greatly. They all drew their swords at the same time, wanting to stop the Yaksha's attack, but it was too late. Their hearts were about to break. This junior sister was very important. She was also the direct disciple of the sect master. If she died, the sect master would be very sad. Die. The Yaksha bared its deep fangs and said. It didn't think that the others could pose a threat to it. Only the young nun's activated power made it afraid. She must die. At this critical moment, an invisible blade containing the power of ice cut towards the Yaksha. This invisible blade was launched later. Before the Yaksha's attack landed on the young nun, it cut through the back of its neck and cut off its head. This scene happened too suddenly. No one knew what had happened. At the same time, the young nun's power bloomed. It was the power of a purifying lotus, expelling all the evil power. The nuns couldn't open their eyes because of the power of the light. They all stopped moving. This holy light lasted for a while and then disappeared. The young nun said with a blank expression, "Is the Yaksha dead?" The nuns came back to their senses and rushed towards the young nun. At the same time, they found the Yaksha's head cut off behind her. Junior sister is so powerful. You killed this heaven-ranked Yaksha. Yes, no wonder the sect master said that junior sister's talent is extraordinary. It really isn't a lie. Sigh, it's a pity that 2 junior sisters were killed. What a hateful Yaksha. We must kill them all. The young nun was still in a daze. She said in disbelief, I didn't kill the Yaksha, right? The young nun in the lead said, Who else could it be other than you? Hurry up and take the Yaksha's magic core. This is your proof of fighting for the heavenly king ranking. The young nun quickly waved her hand and said, My strength is still far from enough. Senior sister, you should take it. Just take it. The leading nun reprimanded. Then, she cut open the Yaksha's head and took out a magic core. She stuffed it into the young nun's hand. The young nun was so scared that she quickly threw it away. She kept chanting, Amitba, Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara. When you walk deep in the Prajna Paramitha, you see that the 5 skandhas are all empty. She couldn't help but recite Buddhist scriptures. She looked very solemn. Junior sister, what are you doing? These are evil spirits. Don't tell me you can't bear to kill them? The leading nun said. Senior sister, I don't want to kill. I didn't kill it. You can take it. The young nun hurriedly said. She didn't care about the other nuns and quickly ran towards Yang Wu's position. Junior sister. The leading nun shouted unwillingly. Senior sister Qingli, let her be. This is the first time junior sister has left the sect. She doesn't know how dangerous the world is. Once she experiences more, she will understand. A nun persuaded. Another nun also said, That's right. Junior sister has a bodhisattva's heart. She can't even bear to hurt an ant. It's already amazing that she can kill a Yaksha. How could I not know what you guys are talking about? But one of us must enter the top 100 of the Heavenly King ranking. Other than junior sister, there is no one else. If I don't force her to grow, I'm afraid she won't even be able to enter the top 1,000. The leading nun sighed. Not far away, the young nun had already returned to Yang Wu's side. Her mood was very complicated. She was still chanting Buddhist scriptures to calm her mood. Yang Wu looked at the solemn face of the young nun, and a feeling of pity arose in his heart. This was a pure and flawless young girl, and he really didn't want the world's evil to affect her purifying Saint Lotus heart. When I get better, let me hold the blood blade for you and fight for that heavenly king ranking for you. Yang Wu silently thought in his heart. Chapter 483. The night slowly passed. On a boundless grassland, the sun did not rise. It was a gloomy day. From time to time, gusts of cold wind would blow. It was not like the hot wind of summer at all. It was more like the cold wind of early winter, causing the grass to rustle. After a night of recuperation, Yang Wu's body was basically running smoothly. Although his external injuries still looked terrible, in fact, most of his internal injuries had already healed. As long as he could circulate his energy, he would be able to recover very quickly. Yang Wu still had his eyes closed as he silently healed. Currently, he had to use all his strength to smooth out the cracks in his bones. As long as his bones were healed, it would be easier for him to move. At this time, the young nun beside him, Qing Jing, said softly to him, "I'm leaving." Her face was filled with guilt, as she was extremely sad that she could not continue to take care of Yang Wu. Yang Wu opened his eyes and asked, "Can I ask you 3 questions before I leave?" "Yes, yes. Ask away." Qing Jing nodded repeatedly. "How many days have I been unconscious for?" "Since the day I saved you, it's been about 7 days." "Where is this place?" "You don't know where this place is. This is a broken space, a place where the younger generation of the various large sects compete for the Heavenly King ranking." "What's your name?" "Ah, my Buddhist name is Qing Jing." Qing Jing clearly did not expect Yang Wu to suddenly ask for her name, causing her to be caught off guard. "I'll remember Qing Jing. You can go." Yang Wu replied seriously. "I'm sorry." Qing Jing bowed to Yang Wu, apologized, and got up to leave. She had just taken a few steps when Yang Wu's voice came from behind her. "You are a good person, you will be rewarded." "Thank you, almsgiver," Qing Jing replied, finally reuniting with her senior sisters. The group of nuns headed in one of the directions to complete their mission. Not long after, a nun quickly returned and placed some food beside Yang Wu, saying, "This is left for you by our junior sister. Consider it your fortune from your previous life." After saying that, she quickly left and caught up with the team again. Yang Wu looked at the bag of water and some dry rations beside him, and his heart was deeply moved. "I've met a true bodhisattva," Yang Wu thought emotionally. Yang Wu completely let go of his hands and feet. It was time for him to fully recover from his injuries. With the construction of the Heaven and Earth Mysterious Bridge, his internal injuries had recovered by more than half. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula was running at full force. Under the nourishment of the energy in his body was recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. A large amount of energy was being absorbed by him from all around. These energies were like swallows returning to their nest as they entered his body. Drops of Xian Qi fell from his dantian like rain. The eye of the earth sea was spinning faster and faster. His meridians were emitting surging sounds. His acupoints were as bright as stars. A blue light appeared on his body. It was very sacred and astonishing. Pa. Strange sounds came from inside his body. It was not only the power of the Xian River, but also the power of his muscles. This was a pure and clean body. After about 2 hours, Yang Wu had recovered by more than half. He was finally able to stand up again and use his strength to fight. Although there were still some injuries that needed time to heal, it was much better than being powerless before. Suddenly, there was a fluctuation of energy in the distance. 5 shadows swept out from the grass and headed straight for Yang Wu. "Lord Yi Ji hasn't returned for the whole night. Did something big happen?" These 5 figures belonged to the Yiksha tribe. One of the Yiksha asked doubtfully. Another Yiksha pointed at Yang Wu's position with a weapon and said, "There's a living human over there. Capture him and ask him if he knows anything." Soon, the 5 Yikshas surrounded Yang Wu. Balls of dark energy filled the air. If Yang Wu made the slightest move, he would be killed by them. "This human seems to be injured. Did you see Lord Yi Ji here last night?" One of the Yikshas scolded Yang Wu. Yang Wu pointed in a direction and replied, "I saw him. He's over there." One of the Yikshas looked back and found no trace of his lord. He cursed loudly, "How dare you trick me? I'll kill you." "He's really over there. He's just dead, Yang Wu replied indifferently. The 5 yiksha's eyes twitched. One of them quickly rushed in the direction Yang Wu had just been and screamed, "Come quickly. Lord Yi Ji is really dead." The yikshas were shocked, and they quickly rushed towards that yiksha. They all saw the decapitated Yi Ji and felt a chill run down their spines. It must have been done by that human. "Let's go back and kill him," one of the yikshas shouted. Just as they were about to go back and kill Yang Wu appeared behind them and replied, "I really did kill him." The yikshas were shocked. They wanted to attack Yang Wu, but Yang Wu had already made the first move. He activated his ice blade wings and attacked without a trace. 4 of the yikshas were instantly killed by the sharp ice blade wings. They were only king-class yikshas, so they couldn't do anything to Yang Wu. The yiksha that hadn't been able to attack in time was stunned. It didn't even think about it and quickly fled to avoid being killed. Of course, Yang Wu wouldn't let it escape. Under the control of his divine will, the ice blade wings were like peerless swords. In an instant, the yiksha's wings were cut off, so it couldn't escape. "Human, if you dare to kill me, we yikshas will not let you go." The yiksha fell to the ground in pain and roared at Yang Wu. "Tell me about this broken space." Yang Wu sat down and asked the yiksha. "This is yiksha territory. Intruders like you will die a horrible death," the yiksha scolded. "All right," Yang Wu answered softly. He formed a sword with his finger and slashed at one of the yiksha's legs. Arg! One of the yiksha's legs was cut off, and black blood quickly flowed out. "Are you going to tell me or not?" Yang Wu asked again. "I won't tell you even if I die," the yiksha said stubbornly. "Then die." Yang Wu was too lazy to interrogate the yiksha. He pointed at the yiksha's head and cut it off. Yang Wu wasn't able to get any information from these yikshas, but he wasn't discouraged. Everything was easy to solve now that his body was better. Yang Wu cut open the yiksha's head and took out the demon core. He could feel that the demon core contained the yiksha's energy crystal. It was the same as the demon core of the demon race. He muttered, "Those nuns must have a use for these demon cores. I'll keep them for now." Yang Wu took away all of the yiksha's weapons. He also found some dark materials on their bodies. These were ordinary king materials, and there were some middle-level Xian spirit stones. Yang Wu lit a fire on their bodies and burned their bodies clean. Then, he began to leave. First of all, he had to figure out where this place was. He felt that this place was definitely not peaceful. This place is filled with danger. I'm afraid that the quiet nuns will be in danger. I'll chase after them and protect them for a while. Yang Wu muttered to himself for a moment, then chased after the nuns. They had only left for 2 hours, so they probably hadn't gone far. He should still be able to catch up. Yang Wu urged the wind god's legs to run while continuing to heal his injuries. He also sensed the situation around him. He discovered that the heaven and earth profound chi here was more than 10 times denser than the mortal world. He also saw many old herbs in the hills. He even discovered that there were spirit herbs growing here. He was extremely shocked. This place is very suitable for cultivation, Yang Wu concluded in his heart. At the same time, he believed that this place might be a part of the transcendent realm. He did not collect the herbs here. As long as he was still in this place, it would not be difficult to collect them. It was more important to catch up to them first. Ahead, the nuns had indeed encountered a big problem. They were surrounded by another group of people, and the atmosphere was very tense. The people surrounding them were a group of people with extremely dense blood chi. Every one of them was very young, about the same age as the nuns. They had all reached the Earth-Sea realm, and even the leader had reached the heavenly fish realm. The leader was a young man who was about 30 years old. He had an eagle-like face and wore a scarlet blood armor. He carried a blood tiger saber on his shoulder and rode a blood-devouring tiger. Both the man and the horse were emitting a dense killing intent. The young man's gaze landed on the quiet nuns, and there was no doubt that he had a lewd and obscene expression. "Does your house of blood fiend really want to start a war with us? We are not afraid of you." Qing Li glared at the people surrounding them and shouted angrily. "I've already said that as long as you leave that little nun behind, you'll have a way out. Otherwise, you'll have to stay here with her and serve us brothers." The young man riding on the blood-devouring tiger coldly said, "Your house of blood fiend is not a good person. Why would our Heng Shan sect be afraid of you?" Qing Li replied strongly. "Then all of you can stay behind. Brothers, attack." The young man riding the blood-devouring tiger didn't want to talk too much nonsense. He waved his hand to the people beside him, and they attacked the nuns. "Chun Hu, you are going too far. Junior sisters, let's fight it out with them," Qing Li rebuked. She raised her long sword and charged towards the young man named Chun Hu. The other nuns drew their swords. They definitely couldn't sit and wait for death. Otherwise, they would end up in a miserable state. There were only 13 nuns and 24 people from the House of Bloodfiend. Whether it was in terms of combat strength or numbers, the nuns weren't a match for the House of Bloodfiend. They didn't even have the chance to break out and were all captured by the House of Bloodfiend. If it wasn't for the House of Bloodfiend wanting to invade them, they would have lost their lives on the spot. You refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. You nuns will serve us brothers well today. Ha ha. Chen Hu laughed heartily. The people from the House of Bloodfiend let out lewd and obscene smiles. They couldn't wait to perform their bestial acts on the nuns. The young nun was brought in front of Chen Hu. Her beautiful eyes were filled with panic. This was the first time she encountered such a terrifying thing. She recalled what she said about taking care of the young man and shouted unwillingly, "Didn't they say that good people will be rewarded? Liar!" "Who is the liar?" a lazy voice replied. Chapter 484. Qing Jing was a pure and flawless nun. She had grown up in the nunnery, and had never come into contact with the people and matters of the outside world. She was incomparably kind and didn't have any schemes. She didn't expect that participating in this Heaven King rankings competition would be so dangerous. This was the first time she felt the dangers of the world. What happened to good people being rewarded? She was in despair. In her nervousness, she had forgotten that she had extraordinary battle prowess. She had too little experience in facing enemies. If she had more experience, she wouldn't have been captured so quickly with her peak king realm. She could even use her potential to counterattack. It was a pity. Just as she was about to be humiliated, she heard a voice that she thought was an illusion. She muttered, "Why did I hear his voice? Am I hallucinating?" This wasn't an illusion. Yang Wu had arrived. Chen Hu reacted quickly and looked in Yang Wu's direction. He saw a sloppy youth in tattered clothes chewing on dry rations and walking towards them. He frowned and asked, "Beggar sex people?" Yang Wu instantly felt hurt. He stuffed all the dry rations into his mouth and glared at Chen Hu, scolding, "Are you blind? How does this lord look like a beggar? Your entire family is the beggar sex people." Immediately after, he amiably said to Qing Jing, "Little nun, thank you for your dry rations. Do you have any more? I'm still a little hungry." As he spoke, he walked towards Qing Jing, completely ignoring the people from the House of Bloodfiend. Someone from the House of Bloodfiend walked up and blocked in front of Yang Wu. He shouted, "Beggar, you're courting death." This person had a strong evil aura. He carried a heavy hammer and smashed it towards Yang Wu's head. If this hit, his head would definitely explode and he would die. When this heavy hammer smashed down, Yang Wu actually didn't dodge and allowed this heavy hammer to smash down. Afterimage. After that person's heavy hammer smashed down, he realized that Yang Wu's head wasn't smashed. There was only an afterimage that gradually disappeared. Ah! A blood-curdling scream rang out from another direction. Unknowingly, Yang Wu had already appeared beside Qing Jing and broke the arm of the person who was holding her. "It's immoral to be so rude to a monk. Yang Wu pulled Qing Jing behind him and said faintly, "Bastard!" The man with the heavy hammer turned around and cursed. He once again charged towards Yang Wu. This time, Yang Wu really did not dodge. However, when the heavy hammer fell on his body, he had already kicked out in advance. It landed directly on the man's crotch, and the kick shattered the man's balls. The man rolled on the ground, clutching his lower body as he screamed miserably, looking extremely pitiful. The others felt a chill run down their spines. If this kick landed on their bodies, they would be in trouble. "Stinky beggar, you dare to hurt my junior brother. You're dead meat." The people from the House of Blood Fiend were enraged. One of them wielded a long spear and charged towards Yang Wu. In addition, there were 2 other disciples from the House of Blood Fiend who cooperated with him. The combat power they released was not to be underestimated. 3 forces enveloped Yang Wu at the same time, wanting to kill Yang Wu in one fell swoop. Chen, who had been looking at Yang Wu with narrowed eyes. He did not make a move as he wanted to see what this unknown beggar could do. "Be careful." Qing Jing regained her senses and warned Yang Wu. She wanted to help Yang Wu block these forces. "Don't be afraid. Other than bullying women, what else can they do? A bunch of cowards," Yang Wu said disdainfully. He finally made a move. Bang bang. In an instant, Yang Wu threw out 3 punches. Every punch was as fast as lightning. Before the attacks from the 3 of them arrived, Yang Wu's fist radiance had already landed on them, sending them flying on the spot. Taking advantage of this moment, Yang Wu activated his ice blade wings. The ice blade wings swept out without a shadow. His target was the disciples from the House of Blood Fiend who were holding on to the nuns. The few of them did not know what had happened. Their arms were severed as they screamed miserably. A few arms fell to the ground, and it was a ghastly sight. The nuns regained their senses and quickly escaped. They were injured, but they still had the strength to escape. The people from the House of Blood Fiend panicked. They suspected that there were other people around. "Kill them!" Chen, who was decisive enough as he gave the order to kill without hesitation. The other disciples from the House of Blood Fiend who were not injured attacked again. Their target was the nuns who were escaping, and they wanted to kill them all. "I won't let the monks off either. The ones who deserve to die the most are all of you." Yang Wu cursed as he opened his soul eye. The soul-extinguishing light swept towards the disciples from the House of Blood Fiend. This time, it wasn't as simple as severed arms. It was the soul-extinguishing eye. Wherever Yang Wu's soul power went, there would be people who would die silently. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 people fell to the ground. The disciples from the House of Blood Fiend suffered a great loss. Chen, who kept looking at Yang Wu. When he saw the soul eye in between Yang Wu's eyebrows, he had goosebumps all over his body. He cried out, "Exceptional eye skill!" In the next moment, Chen Hu shouted, "Everyone spread out. Defend the god's court well. I'll kill him." Chen Hu finally made his move. He soared from the blood-devouring tiger and slashed at Yang Wu. The terrifying blood blade was like a blade from hell. It brought along an extremely terrifying aura of blood as it enveloped Yang Wu. Yang Wu looked at him and shot the soul-extinguishing light at Chen Hu. Chen Hu was like a bird startled by the twang of a bow. He quickly withdrew his move and swept to the side, afraid that he would be hit by the soul-extinguishing light. Chen Hu was indeed an expert of the heavenly fish realm. He quickly attacked again. This time, he mobilized the surrounding heaven and earth mystic chi and slashed at Yang Wu with his blade. The speed of his attack this time was much faster than before. He definitely couldn't let Yang Wu look at him again. As expected, after Yang Wu felt the majestic pressure, he pulled Qing Jing and quickly dodged. Bang bang! Wherever Chen Hu's blade went, the protruding rocks on the ground were sliced off cleanly. Countless gravel splattered as a large area was attacked. This was the terrifying power of a heavenly fish realm expert. Yang Wu brought Qing Jing and quickly retreated far away. He said to her, Go and meet up with your senior sisters. I will deal with them." Without waiting for Qing Jing to reply, Yang Wu had already charged at Chen Hu again. His soul eye was still open and had a powerful deterrent force. He roared at Chen Hu, "Is the heavenly fish realm that great? I will kill you." The soul eye's formless soul power shot at Chen Hu. Once it hit Chen Hu's glabella, Chen Hu's soul would be severely injured even if it wasn't extinguished. Tiger Chen was scared out of his wits. He knew very well how terrifying a prodigy with potential was. He had no way of blocking this peerless eye technique. He kept changing his position, and his body was in a very sorry state. In addition, he took out a defensive shield to protect his head, so as to avoid being shot to death by this eye technique. "We can't fight against this kid. Let's go," Chen Hu shouted at the rest of the House of Blood Fiend. In this place, the strongest person in the House of Blood Fiend was Chen Hu. If even he wasn't a match, the rest of them didn't have the confidence to challenge this youth in front of them. They all got on their mounts and left. Chen Hu escaped the fastest. He didn't even wait for his mount and quickly slipped away. He was afraid that he would be killed by Yang Wu if he was a little slower. He cursed in his heart, "Where did this little bastard come from? Why does he have such an exceptional eye technique? The next time I meet him, I must kill him." The eye technique was unparalleled in the world, but it didn't mean that there was no way to defend against it. As long as there was a defensive helmet, it would be able to block this eye technique attack. Now that he didn't have a defensive helmet, it was best to retreat first. Chen Hu wasn't a reckless person. His combat strength was definitely not weak. Otherwise, he wouldn't have become one of the Heavenly Kings in the top 100 of the Heavenly King list. He just didn't want to suffer such a loss. As long as he was prepared, he was confident that he could take down this youth. "You want to escape just like that? It's not that easy." Yang Wu sneered and took out the fallen moon bow. The power of the barbarian god's arm was injected into the bow. The 1,000-stone bow was fully drawn. In an instant, an arrow shot towards the blood-devouring tiger. Whoosh! The arrow was like a meteor chasing after the moon. In the blink of an eye, it caught up to the blood-devouring tiger and ruthlessly stabbed into its buttock. Furthermore, it pierced through the tiger's entire body from its buttocks, causing it to explode on the spot. Chen Hu had already flown far away, but when he heard the blood-devouring tiger's scream, he turned around and roared, "Little bastard, I, Chen Hu, swear that if I don't kill you, I'm not human." This voice was incomparably loud. A terrifying killing intent soared into the sky, indicating that he would not rest until Yang Wu was dead. "If you have the ability, don't run. I can beat 10 of you by myself." Yang Wu pretended to chase after him and shouted. Chen Hu really thought that Yang Wu was going to chase after him. He was so scared that he quickly sped up and ran away, not daring to stop at all. If it was a potential talent that was easier to deal with, he wouldn't have to be so afraid. But for Yang Wu's exceptional eye technique, he was temporarily helpless against it. Yang Wu didn't really chase after him. His soul eye's soul power was limited. He consecutively killed more than 10 people and scared Chen Hu away. It was fine as long as he achieved the effect of saving people. Yang Wu retracted his soul eye and turned around to smile at Qing Jing. "I already said that good people will be rewarded. I didn't lie to you, right?" Yang Wu was handsome to begin with. Even if he looked very sloppy right now, his smile had a unique flavor. When it landed in Qing Jing's eyes, it instantly made her heart pound like a deer. She didn't dare to look directly at Yang Wu. This feeling was very strange and was something she had never felt before. Seeing that Qing Jing didn't reply, Yang Wu walked over and said, "Master Qing Jing. Junior sister, don't you remember me?" Ordinary nuns would be respectfully addressed as Master. Qing Jing was still a young girl, so Yang Wu really couldn't call out such an old-fashioned form of address. He could only change it to Junior Sister. At this moment, The other nuns all walked towards Qing Jing. Their gazes all fell on Yang Wu. They really couldn't understand how a crippled person could suddenly descend like a heavenly soldier and save them. I remember. Qing Jing lowered her head and didn't dare to softly reply. You really remember? Why are you lowering your head? Don't tell me you were scared by me? Yang Wu looked at his tattered appearance and said awkwardly. Benefactor, your butt is exposed. Qing Jing's voice was like a mosquito's. She rubbed her red face to her ears. Chapter 485. After Yang Wu recovered, he first killed the yaksha and then hurriedly chased after the nuns, so he did not have time to change his clothes. His clothes were tattered, making him look like a beggar, but his important parts were covered. He thought that there would be no problem, but when he rushed over, his already tattered pants were torn again, revealing a small part of his butt. Just now when Yang Wu scared Chen Hu away, Qing Jing saw it. The reason why she lowered her head was mainly because she did not want to see something indecent. Yang Wu's hearing was extraordinary, so even if Qing Jing spoke softly, he could still hear it. He turned around to look, and his old face became hot. He quickly took out a cloak from the universe space and quickly covered himself. Cough cough. Today's weather is really good. Yang Wu lightly coughed, looked up at the sky and speechlessly said. His heart was incomparably embarrassed. Many thanks to Benefactor for saving us. Qing Li said gratefully to Yang Wu with the other nuns. Yang Wu repeatedly waved his hand and said, It's nothing. You guys saved me first, so this is what I should do. This time it was Qing Li's turn to be embarrassed. The person who saved Yang Wu was Qing Jing, not them. Although they did put in some effort, but compared to Qing Jing who wholeheartedly took care of Yang Wu, it was insignificant. Qing Li was worthy of being the leader of their group. She changed the topic to ease the atmosphere and said, Benefactor, are you a member of the beggar clan? Yang Wu explained, I just had a small accident and was seriously injured. My clothes are tattered, so I am not a member of the beggar clan. Then which sect are you from? Qing Li asked again. Yang Wu replied, Me. I am from the Marquis clan, Yang Wu. Marquis clan? Qing Li and her junior sisters were stunned. They did not seem to have heard of such a power. It must be a new power. They all thought in their hearts. Hurry up and heal your injuries. I'll protect you. If you have anything to say, wait until you're better. Yang Wu said. Then I'll have to trouble you, Benefactor. Qing Li bowed to Yang Wu, then led her junior sisters to sit down and treat their injuries. They had suffered heavy injuries in the battle just now and needed to recover before they could continue their journey. Qing Jing was not seriously injured. She and Yang Wu stood guard for their junior sister. Yang Wu came to Qing Jing's side and sincerely thanked her. Junior sister Qing Jing, thank you for saving me. Qing Jing waved his hand and said, Saving a life is better than building a 7-storied pagoda. This is what we monks should do. No matter what, I will engrave it in my heart. I have decided to escort you all the way. Yang Wu said with certainty. Really? That's great. Qing Jing said happily. After a pause, she added, Then my senior sister and the others will be much safer. It's too dangerous here. What is this place? Why does it feel so dangerous? Yang Wu took the opportunity to ask. This is a broken space. You've already asked twice. When you came in, didn't your family tell you that this is the battlefield for the Heaven King ranking? Qing Jing asked back. Yang Wu hesitated and said, Actually, I didn't mean to fall here. Would you believe me? Where did you fall in from? From the Wolf Smoke mountain range. I've never heard of it. It must be an ancient mountain range. Since you're not here to participate in the Heaven King ranking, then you should hurry up and leave. There are evil Yiksha clan, Blood WRM clan, and many ancient fierce beasts here. They will all see us humans as invaders and want to eat us all. Qing Jing said vividly. Her face was filled with anxiety. Yang Wu asked again, What do you mean by the Heaven King ranking? You don't even know about the Heaven King ranking? It seems that you must be from a place far away. It refers to the ranking of disciples under the age of 30 in the heavenly fish realm and the earth sea realm. Everyone's goal is to compete for this ranking and win glory for their respective sections. Whoever can enter the top 100 of the Heaven King ranking will be given the title of Heavenly King, which means that their future achievements will be very outstanding. Outside of the top 100, the top 1000 can only be called Battle King. Those outside of the top 1000 can only be called Battle King. Qing Jing explained. Yang Wu instantly understood the situation of the ranking. It turned out that it was the battle ranking of the younger generation. He was completely stunned. He thought to himself, there are too many geniuses under the age of 30 in the heavenly fish realm. In the mortal world, to be able to break through to the earth-sea realm before the age of 30 was already an amazing genius. But here, there were actually existences under the age of 30 in the heavenly fish realm. It was really shocking. Qing Jing continued. Their goal for this trip was to kill more yakshas and blood WRMS and find items to break through. In this space, there were many king herbs and heavenly medicines. They were all of extraordinary value, and could be collected and brought back to their sects to contribute. It was also an opportunity for them to break through. In this fragmented space, there were also relics left behind by the ancient people. If they could discover something, their strength might increase by leaps and bounds. After Yang Wu heard this, he felt that his horizons had been broadened. He finally understood that Little Hay's words about him being a frog at the bottom of a well were not wrong. Through Qing Jing's words, he knew that those who entered this fragmented space were basically all young people from various forces in the transcendent realm. They were all fighting for their own opportunities. They all wanted to get a chance to break through in a limited time and shake off their peers as much as possible. Only then would they be able to monopolize the competition in the future. This space only opens once every 20 years. Every time it opens, it will only open for a year. After a year, we will leave this place. If we don't leave, we will stay here for another 20 years. We will definitely become food for the yakshas and blood WRMS. We have only been here for a little over a month. We still have to stay here for another 10 months before we can leave, Qing Jing said, a little distressed. Junior sister Qing Jing, we are martial artists. If we have the opportunity to improve our strength, why not? Why do you look so unhappy? Yang Wu asked with a faint smile. Qing Jing looked unhappy and said, I don't want to cultivate. I just want to quietly chant scriptures and do things that make others happy. I'm satisfied. I'm afraid of killing. Yang Wu could tell that she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. He sighed in his heart. What a naive little nun. Yes, if you don't want to kill, I'll do it for you, Yang Wu said casually. No, you can't kill. It will shorten your lifespan. Qing Jing quickly stopped him. But if you don't kill them, they will kill you. What if they kill your senior sisters? Yang Wu asked. Qing Jing was stumped by Yang Wu's words and didn't know how to respond. She pinched the corner of her clothes and said, As long as we don't attack them, they won't come looking for trouble with us. Yang Wu smiled and didn't dwell on this issue. He continued to ask about the things he wanted to know from the side. Qing Jing didn't have any ulterior motives. She told Yang Wu everything. An hour later, Qing Li was the first to recover. She walked over and interrupted Yang Wu and Qing Jing's conversation. She said, Junior sister, we should go. Okay, senior sister. Are you all better? Qing Jing asked. Yes, we're much better. Qing Li replied. Then she said to Yang Wu, Benefactor, thank you for helping us. We will repay you in the future. Yang Wu could feel that this nun was very guarded. He didn't mind and said, You saved me, so I should save you. I plan to protect you for a while as repayment. There's no need. Our debt is settled, Qing Li said decisively. Yang Wu smiled and said, Our debt is settled. But I owe junior sister Qing Jing. I must protect her and not let her get hurt. Do you think you have the ability to protect her? Qingli was speechless. She didn't expect the man in front of her to be so good at finding excuses. This made her even more certain that this man had other motives. Qingjing said, "Benefactor, you don't have to protect me. I will be safe with senior sister and the others. If you meet those people again, you will be humiliated by them," Yang Wu said in a deep voice. Then he added, "Even if you don't want me to protect you, I will follow you." "Okay, then follow us. We will soon meet up with the 5 Peaks senior brothers and junior sisters. You can leave then." Qingli felt Yang Wu's determination. She might as well go with the flow. This place was full of danger. One more person meant one more strength. No matter what his motive was, as long as she was careful, it would be fine. Just like that, Yang Wu followed the 13 nuns on their way. Their goal was to meet up with their fellow sect members. They had been separated when they came in. Along the way, Yang Wu was very silent. He didn't take the initiative to talk to Qingjing, nor did he talk to the other nuns. It was a bit inappropriate for a man like him to mingle with the nuns. If he got too close to them, it would affect their reputation. On the way, he picked herbs one after another. The nuns also picked them. However, their ability to identify herbs was very poor. There were some herbs with extraordinary effects that they didn't pick. When they saw Yang Wu pick them, some of them couldn't help but ask him what he was doing with the herbs. Yang Wu fully displayed his knowledge of pharmacology as an alchemist and patiently explained to them. They realized that the man in front of them had an extraordinary knowledge of pharmacology. They guessed that Yang Wu might be an alchemist's disciple and had a high level of medicinal pills to be able to quickly recover his body. Through the matter of identifying herbs, Yang Wu gradually gained the trust of these nuns. Their vigilance towards him was reduced a lot. Yang Wu didn't become complacent because of their trust in him. He still kept a distance from them and always paid attention to the movements around him to avoid accident. After nightfall, Yang Wu prepared some spirit fruits for these nuns. This was what he found on the road. The nuns didn't refuse Yang Wu's kindness. Their impression of Yang Wu was getting better and better. "I have to prepare some pills." Yang Wu went to a corner and took out a medicinal cauldron to refine pills. When the pills he refined attracted the pill thunder, the nuns couldn't help but exclaim, "Benefactor Yang is an alchemist." Chapter 486. The nuns had already thought that Yang Wu might be an alchemist, but when they realized that Yang Wu was an alchemist, they were still very shocked. Alchemists were a noble profession no matter where they were. They never had to worry about selling the pills they made, especially the pills that could increase one's strength. Many people would kneel down and follow alchemists, and many forces would treat alchemists as important guests and try their best to rope them in. The nuns of the Heng Mountain sect didn't care much about worldly affairs, but that didn't mean that they didn't know anything. Their sect also had alchemists, and it was very difficult for anyone to ask for a good pill. Yang Wu's pill attracted the pill lightning, which proved that he was at least a medicine king level alchemist. It was rare for someone to reach this level at such a young age, even in the extraordinary realm. What surprised them even more was that not only did Yang Wu attract the pill lightning, but he was also fighting against the pill lightning. Boom! Boom! The heavenly lightning struck down like snakes, and Yang Wu rushed into the sky. He condensed his fist energy and punched out again and again, destroying the heavenly lightning that was striking down. They couldn't cause too much damage to him. As the heavenly lightning was destroyed, the power of the lightning and fire was quickly absorbed by the blue demoness in his heart, strengthening the power of the heart fire. The power of the Dan King's lightning tribulation could threaten a top-tier king-level warrior, and all the nuns present felt the terrifying power of the heavenly lightning. Yang Wu easily blocked it, and they all praised in their hearts. He is also a young heavenly king. Not only was he outstanding in alchemy, but he also had such powerful combat power. He was definitely a peerless genius, enough to squeeze into the heavenly king ranking. After Yang Wu successfully blocked the heavenly lightning, he opened the cauldron lid, and 10 king-level pills were formed. He said with satisfaction, "As my mental power increased, my alchemy skills also increased. The medicinal power is more perfect, and I can condense 2 more pills." Yang Wu put away the 10 king-level pills and continued on to the next cauldron. In this dangerous place, he had to make sufficient preparations, just in case. In one night, Yang Wu had refined 5 cauldrons of king pills. His speed shocked the nuns. Even their uncle master, a heaven pharmacist, was not as fast as Yang Wu in refining king pills. That night, Yang Wu not only concocted 3 cauldrons of healing pills, 1 cauldron of extreme speed pills, and another cauldron of xianqi pills. He distributed the healing pills to the nuns, giving each of them 1. He also gave an extra pill to each of the nuns. This difference in treatment made the nuns envious. They sighed, "Good people will be rewarded." Qing Jing only took out a healing pill and said, "I'll take a healing pill just like the other senior sisters. Since it's for you, just take it. I said that good people will be rewarded." Yang Wu said, "I appreciate your kindness, but I can't be greedy." Qing Jing said resolutely. Yang Wu looked at Qing Li. Only Qing Li was able to convince Qing Jing. Qing Li tactfully said, "Little senior sister, benefactor Yang gave it to you. If you don't let him repay his kindness, he won't be able to let go of the knot in his heart. This can be considered a sin on your part." Qing Li's vigilance towards Yang Wu had never been reduced. However, she had no choice but to speak up for Yang Wu since she had received a gift from him. Sure enough, Qing Jing listened to Qing Li's words and could only reluctantly accept the pill. Yang Wu and the nuns continued on their way. This day was destined to not be peaceful. They found several stalks of king-level medicine, and there were powerful vicious beasts roaming around. The vicious beasts' battle prowess wasn't inferior to any king's. They didn't fear death and were bloodthirsty. They fiercely attacked Yang Wu and the nuns. These vicious beasts all looked strange and ferocious. There were vicious beasts with pig heads and tiger bodies. There were vicious beasts with 6 wings, vicious beasts with 3 horns. They all had innate offensive abilities, making it impossible to guard against. The nuns' battle prowess was very good. Qing Li's battle prowess was definitely the best among them. Her brilliant moves killed 2 vicious beasts, showing the style of a leader. The other nuns obviously didn't have enough battle experience. Under the fierce attacks of the vicious beasts, they quickly fell into a dangerous situation. Especially Qing Jing, who didn't have any battle experience. She only had battle prowess, but she was also a burden to the others. It really made people speechless. Yang Wu had been protecting them all this time. When it was time to attack, he didn't hesitate to attack. Just as the ferocious beast with the head of a pig and the body of a tiger was about to bite Qing Jing, Yang Wu stepped in front of her and kicked out a whip kick, sending the ferocious beast that weighed over 1,000 pounds flying. Then, he spun around and kicked out several times in a row. One by one, the ferocious beasts were sent flying in different directions. They couldn't withstand the power of Yang Wu's attack, and were kicked flying while vomiting blood. Their sturdy bodies fell to the ground and stirred up a cloud of dust. "Benefactor Yang, be careful behind you," Qing Jing reminded. Suddenly, the 6-winged rat beast attacked. Its sharp teeth bit towards Yang Wu's head. Yang Wu, as if he had eyes on the back of his head, did an extremely brilliant upside-down hook. His head fell backwards, and his feet drew a beautiful arc to the top. He kicked backwards, and it was right in the middle of the 6-winged rat beast's sharp mouth, causing it to explode. Yang Wu flipped over and landed on the ground. His appearance was quite handsome. Looking at him, Qing Jing's heart beat extremely fast. After getting along with him for a few days, she had an inexplicable feeling whenever she looked at him. She couldn't figure out what was going on. At this time, she could only silently recite scriptures to calm her emotions. After Yang Wu severely injured a few vicious beasts, The pressure on the other nuns was greatly reduced. Under their joint efforts, they slaughtered all the vicious beasts. After killing these vicious beasts, it was time to divide the herbs. Qingli suggested that Yang Wu take half and they keep the other half. After all, Yang Wu was an alchemist, and he had contributed the most. Without him, they might not have been able to obtain these king medicines. Qing Li's way of dividing the herbs, the others didn't have any objections. They all expressed their approval. Yang Wu also didn't hold back. He took the king medicines and some spirit herbs that he deserved. In this place where the xian qi of heaven and earth was rich, the growth of herbs was very good. They should be able to obtain a lot of high-grade herbs. Yang Wu dragged the vicious beasts to the side and cut off their important parts. Some of their leather armor, bones, and sharp teeth were all materials for refining weapons. They were valuable and couldn't be wasted. He also dried a lot of the vicious beast's meat and stored a lot of dried meat in case of an emergency. Yang Wu continued to follow them. In the next 2 days, they encountered a lot of attacks from vicious beasts, but they also obtained a lot of herbs. The danger was proportional to the harvest. Yang Wu was very happy. He really wanted to keep going like this. This way, he could collect more good herbs and he could refine more pills. In these 2 days, they also met some people. These people didn't have any communication with them. They were hunting vicious beasts and collecting herbs. These people were the geniuses of other forces. Their combat strength was quite good. At least, they were much stronger than the nuns of the Heng Shan sect. Although these people didn't talk to Yang Wu, they were all muttering in their hearts. Why were these nuns hanging out with a young man? Moreover, he was a handsome young man. Could it be that they had an affair with him? Some people didn't want to ask this question, but some people didn't care at all. When Yang Wu and the others had just killed a wave of vicious beasts, another group of people appeared near them. Someone sneered and said, "You nuns are so shameless. You're actually hanging out with a man. Could it be that chanting sutras is too lonely, so you're looking for a little brother to accompany you?" There were a lot of people in this group. There were more than 50 people, each of them wearing different clothes and holding different weapons. Some of them were sitting on mounts, while some didn't. There were a mix of men and women. The one who just spoke was an ugly woman. She had a bare waist and a tiger back. Her clothes were very flirtatious. Looking at her made people want to vomit. When Qingli saw these people, her face lit up. She walked up with the nuns behind her and said, "Are you the senior brothers and sisters of the 5 mountain sects?" The 5 mountain sects were divided into the Taishan sect, the Song mountain sect, the Heng mountain sect, the Heng mountain sect, and the Huashan sect. These 5 sects were of the same breadth and branch. They were called the 5 mountain sects, along with the House of Bloodfiend, the House of Carefree, the House of Phantom, the House of Dragon and Tiger, and the House of Tang. If any of these sects separated, there was no way to compete with the other 4 sections. At present, the most powerful sects in the 5 mountain sect were the Taishan sect and the Song mountain sect. These 2 sects had taken turns to hold the position of sect master for the past few hundred years. They dominated the strongest power of the 5 mountain sect. The other 3 sects were about the same strength. The most difficult to predict was the Huashan sect. Since the establishment of the 5 mountain sect, the Huashan sect had always been the leader. However, 500 years ago, Huashan sent a traitor, which led to the fall of the Huashan sect's leader. Many mainstays were killed. The Heng mountain sect was one of the sects in the 5 mountain sect that stood aloof from worldly affairs. In the beginning, they only joined forces with the other sects to fight against the demon race. They didn't particularly care about the power struggle. "Hee, I'm not your senior sister. I'm not worthy of your friendship." The ugly woman who spoke just now sneered. "Junior sister Ma, that's enough. Don't talk nonsense." In this group of people, a handsome young man in a green robe reprimanded the ugly woman. This young man in green was the leader of this group. His name was Fan Ren, and he was one of the top 10 figures in the younger generation of the Song Mountain sect. He had already reached the early stage of the heavenly fish realm. The ugly woman was called Asohua, and she was a disciple of the Taishan sect. She was at the peak of the Earth-Sea realm. She was born ugly and was extremely jealous of beautiful women. Especially when she saw the pure Qing Jing, her heart was filled with anger. "I'm not talking nonsense," Asohua said unhappily. Then she pointed at Qing Jing and scolded, "Senior brother Fan, look at this little nun. She's like AB*TCH hiding behind that man. Where are the rules of a monk?" Bah! The expressions of the nuns instantly sank, and their eyes were filled with anger. A figure suddenly rushed out and shouted, "B*TCH should be slapped." Slap. Chapter 487. The crisp sound of face slapping rang out continuously, stunning everyone. Asenghua was a top Earth-Sea realm martial artist. Her fighting strength was not to be underestimated. She had the chance to enter the top 1,000 and become a battle king. She was suddenly slapped in the face. This was something no one had expected. Who else could it be other than Yang Wu? It was fine for him to humiliate others, but he could not humiliate Qing Jing. Qing Jing was behind him, but the distance between them was at least 1 meter. This Asenghua was simply too hateful. "Stop!" The people beside Asenghua reacted and shouted. They all attacked Yang Wu, but before their attacks could reach him, Yang Wu had already quickly retreated. "This is the result of having a cheap mouth," Yang Wu coldly said. Asenghua was completely enraged. Her eyes widened as she roared, "I'll kill you!" Asenghua had a fiery temper. After being humiliated like this, how could she endure it? She raised a giant axe and furiously chopped at Yang Wu. This axe contained an extremely powerful force. When the axe chopped down, it was as if Mount Tai was pressing down. The dense profound qi was frightening. Fan Ren did not open his mouth to stop it. The others also did not make a move. They all quietly watched Asenghua display her might. They all wanted to know where this youth got the confidence to hit Asenghua. He was really tired of living. "You still dare to come?" Yang Wu frowned and said. He didn't wait for her axe to chop down. His figure was like a ghost that swept to her side. He grabbed her wrist that was holding the axe and raised his other hand to give her another round of angry slap. This time, Asenghua was completely beaten into a pig's head. The giant axe was also directly seized by Yang Wu. Those companions who were prepared to save Asenghua were reprimanded by Yang Wu with the giant axe. "Whoever dares to come, I'll split her head." The others did not dare to act rashly. "Quickly release senior sister Asenghua, or else you'll be in big trouble. Quickly release her. Our Mount Tai sect is not something you can easily humiliate. No matter where you come from, quickly release her and kneel down to beg for mercy. How can you behave so atrociously in front of us?" The disciples of the Taishan sect rebuked Yang Wu one after another, as if they wanted to cut Yang Wu into pieces. Yang Wu grabbed Asu's neck with one hand, while his other hand held the giant axe and slashed it towards the ground. Bang! This axe cleaved the ground into a deep pit, and a lot of sand and stones splashed towards those people, scaring them into retreating. "Don't think I don't dare to kill." Yang Wu looked at those people and said faintly. When those people came into contact with Yang Wu's gaze, their hearts and minds turned cold. They felt as if Fan Ren was angry, the pressure was extremely terrifying, and they suspected that the young man in front of them was a heavenly king. "Benefactor Yang, please don't kill." Qing Jing hurriedly tried to persuade him. "Little junior sister, you don't have to worry about this." This time, even Kirai was on Yang Wu's side. Asenghua's words were too harsh. If you have the ability, then kill me," Asenghua said to Yang Wu with difficulty. Her eyes were full of hatred. "Shut up!" Yang Wu reprimanded Asenghua. After a pause, he looked at Fan Ren and the others and said, "Who's in charge here?" "Heng Shan's junior sister." "Who is he to you?" Fan Ren ignored Yang Wu and asked Kirai and the others with a frown. "He's our savior," Kirai replied. So he's an unrelated person? Fan Ren said coldly. To you, yes, but to us, he's with us, Kirai said firmly. At this time, Qing Jing stood up and said, Senior brother, please don't blame Benefactor Yang. He's doing this for us. We apologize to you. She then turned to Yang Wu and said, Benefactor Yang, please let this senior sister go. Don't make things difficult for her. When Fan Ren saw Qing Jing, his eyes flashed and he thought to himself, what a pure and innocent little nun. Yang Wu replied to Qing Jing, Junior sister Qing Jing, you don't have to worry about this. If I don't teach her a lesson, she won't be able to say anything good. He then said to Fan Ren, go back and teach this ugly woman a lesson. Don't talk shit. After saying this, Yang Wu threw her towards the Taishan sect people. The Taishan sect people quickly pulled her back. When they came into contact with A Senghua's body, a powerful force came through and knocked them out of their hands. They couldn't catch A Senghua and could only watch as she fell to the ground. They staggered back and tripped over each other. When Fan Ren and the others saw Yang Wu's move, their eyes narrowed. They didn't expect Yang Wu to be so strong. A Senghua was humiliated. She wanted to get up, but she was so angry that she fainted. After being humiliated, she didn't have the face to face so many people. She simply fainted. Out of sight, out of mind. Everyone, let's kill him! The Taishan sect people exclaimed. The others pulled out their weapons and prepared to attack Yang Wu. The Hengshan sect nuns pulled out their swords without thinking and quickly rushed to Yang Wu's side. They wanted to fight with Yang Wu. After spending a few days with him, they knew what kind of person Yang Wu was. This time, it was A Senghua who spoke rudely first. Yang Wu stood up for them, so they couldn't back down. If you want to fight, we'll keep you company, Qing Li said firmly. The other nuns said in unison, if you want to fight, we'll keep you company. With the addition of these nuns, the people of Taishan sect paused. Although the Taishan sect was the leader of the 5 mountains, they didn't have many people. Instead, the Song Mountain sect had the most people. If they became enemies with these nuns, not only would they break the rules of the 5 mountains sect, they might not be able to get away with it. The strength of the young expert who whipped A Senghua was unfathomable. Our 5 mountains sect are of the same breath and branch. Why should we kill each other? It won't be good if this matter gets out. Fan Ren said, taking charge of the situation. Brother Fan Ren, you've seen what happened here. It's all because of that kid. If we don't get justice for senior sister Ma, how can our Taishan sect stand in front of other brothers and sisters in the future? A man from the Taishan sect said. He thought that if the Taishan sect's senior brother was here, Fan Ren wouldn't be the one calling the shots. I think junior apprentice sister Ma is also in the wrong in this matter. I think she should apologize to you for this matter. Fan Ren said while pointing at Yang Wu. His goal was very clear. Just an apology isn't enough. The man from the Taishan sect responded. Then what do you think? Fan Ren asked back. Smash his face and cripple one of his hands. The man from the Taishan sect said fiercely. Yang Wu raised his chin and said, Come at me if you have the ability. I'll only use one hand. Don't think we don't dare. The man from the Taishan sect said. Okay, I'll do it, Fan Ren said with a cold smile. Then he said to Qing Li and the others, Sisters of the Heng Mountain sect, how about this? You and the brothers from the Taishan sect don't make a move, so as not to damage the reputation of our 5 mountains sect. Even though junior sister Ma spoke rudely, she has also been taught a lesson. He doesn't belong to our 5 mountains sect, so let me exchange pointers with him. Fan Ren's words sounded like he was asking for the opinion of the Heng Mountain sect's nuns. In fact, his tone was not like that. He had already made a decision. Yang Wu also did not want to make things difficult for the Heng Mountain sect's nuns. He turned around and said to them, Since they are related to you, my protection mission ends here. I'm sorry to have damaged your harmony. See you again. Yang Wu left as soon as he said so. He did not want to be entangled with these people any longer. It was simply a waste of his time. Friend, you can't just leave after beating someone up. After Fan Ren said this faintly, the people behind him dispersed and surrounded Yang Wu. Almsgiver Yang, we will advance and retreat with you. At the critical moment, Qing Jing said decisively. Qing Li and the other nuns all agreed. They absolutely could not let anything happen to Yang Wu. How about this? As long as you can take 3 of my moves, no matter the result after 3 moves, I won't make things difficult for you anymore. How about that? Fan Ren said to Yang Wu. Then, he said to Qing Li and the others, my request is not too much. Don't mess around anymore. The 5 Mountains sect has always been united against outsiders. Today we can't have internal strife. Yang Wu also did not want to make things difficult for the Heng Mountain sect's nuns. He thought for a moment and said, okay, I'll take 3 of your moves. Junior Sister Qing Li, Junior Sister Qing Jing, you guys can leave for now. Then you have to be careful, Qing Jing said softly. All the nuns knew Yang Wu's strength, so they let them do as they pleased. Everyone dispersed, leaving space for Fan Ren and Yang Wu to exchange moves. Are you ready? I'm going to make my move. Fan Ren said with a hint of contempt. Come. Yang Wu responded simply. The first move of the Mount Tai sword technique, heavy and blunt. Fan Ren did not use any weapons. Instead, he used his hand as a sword and guided the heaven and earth's Xian Qi to form a huge green saber. He slashed it down towards Yang Wu. This was the power of the heaven realm. Everything within a few hundred feet was enveloped within it. The target had already been sealed, so there was no way he could escape from this heavy slash. Yang Wu stood in place, feeling the pressure from the energy on his left and right. He looked at the green saber aura descending from the sky and sighed in his heart, as expected of the transcendent world's prodigy. His combat power is really strong. Just this move alone was much stronger than Yao Yanhai's. If Yao Yanhai was here, he would definitely die. However, it was still not enough to kill Yang Wu. When the sword was about to land in front of Yang Wu did not seem to use any power. He quickly punched out and landed on the sword aura. Bang! When Yang Wu's fist came into contact with the sword aura was shattered. He was forced back 7 or 8 steps by the sword aura before he could stop himself. The second move. Without waiting for Yang Wu to recover, Fan Ren's second move had already arrived. The power of this move instantly soared. It was definitely comparable to the power of a mid-level heavenly fish. It was the same move, but the lethality was several times stronger than before. Come again. Yang Wu's reaction was also fast. He once again threw a punch. Bang! Another explosion rang out, and at the same time, a sharp scream rang out from another direction. Bastard, let go of Junior Sister Qing Jing. Chapter 488. Who would have thought that while Yang Wu was fighting with Fan Ren, someone would suddenly make a move on Qing Jing? This person appeared very suddenly, and no one knew where he came from. His speed was extremely fast, and Qing Li only felt a gust of wind before Qing Jing disappeared in front of her eyes. As she screamed, the junior sisters beside her realized the situation. Their gazes had been fixed on Yang Wu and Fan Ren all this time. Yang Wu, who had just received Fan Ren's attack, retreated a dozen steps. He heard Qing Li's scream and looked in one direction. He saw a shadow grabbing Qing Jing and quickly disappearing. He shouted angrily, "Let go of junior sister Qing Jing." Yang Wu couldn't care less about Fan Ren's third attack. He burst out at full speed and chased in the direction of Qing Jing. Fan Ren was about to make his third attack. He also realized that someone had captured Qing Jing, but he still had to make his third attack. He definitely couldn't go back on his word. Otherwise, he would lose face. "Take my third attack before you leave." Fan Ren locked onto Yang Wu and soared into the sky. His hands condensed a dazzling green light, and the surrounding Xian Qi gathered together like a storm. He waved his hands at the same time, and a giant green sword slashed down again. This sword light was very oppressive. The geniuses below all felt the power of this sword. Even an ordinary mid-level heavenly fish realm cultivator wouldn't be able to do this. They thought that Yang Wu would definitely die. Yang Wu was locked onto by Fan Ren's aura. His movements were sluggish, and he couldn't chase after him immediately. He was furious. He looked up at Fan Ren and shouted, "If anything happens to junior sister Qing Jing, I'll make sure you die a horrible death. Get out of my way." This time, Yang Wu didn't hold back. The power in his dantian was frantically drawn out. Dense fist intent gathered on his fist, and he punched towards the sky. The fist energy turned into a giant blue wave, fiercely attacking the giant sword light. Boom! There was a shocking explosion. The sword light collapsed, and the fist energy shattered. The surrounding sand and stones flew wildly, and the billowing airwaves forced everyone to retreat far away. Yang Wu used the rebounding force to quickly chase in the direction of Qing Jing. He had no time to argue with Fan Ren. Fan Ren was pushed back 2 meters and retracted his arms behind his back. Waves of pain assaulted him and his face darkened. He looked in the direction Yang Wu had left and thought to himself, "This brat is so strong. He is one of the strongest opponents on the Heavenly King ranking." After Yang Wu was obstructed by Fan Ren, it was not easy for him to catch up to the people who had captured Qing Jing. He was running madly, and very quickly, he rose into the air, spreading his 4 wings and flying at full speed. He refined a speed pill in the universe space, further increasing his speed to the extreme. He gritted his teeth and muttered, "I will not allow anything to happen to junior sister Qing Jing." Not only that, but Yang Wu also released the strongest senses of the divine court Dao flower. Nothing within a radius of a few miles could escape his senses. He could sense that there was someone running quickly 3 miles ahead of him, and he chased after him madly. In front of him, the speed of the person who had captured Qing Jing could be said to be really fast. His feet did not touch the ground, and he stepped on the tips of the grass and moved his legs continuously. With one step, he crossed a distance of hundreds of feet. It was as if he had shrunk the ground into an inch. He felt a powerful aura coming from behind him and thought to himself, "Who is so fast that he can catch up to me, the romantic young master?" He was in the elementary level of the heavenly fish realm, but his speed was faster than that of the intermediate level of the heavenly fish realm. It was impossible for anyone to catch up to him unless they were in the advanced level of the heavenly fish realm. Now that there was someone behind him who could catch up to him, he was a little surprised. However, he had not used all his strength yet. He said to himself, "When it comes to escaping, who can compare to me?" The man took Qing Jing and rushed into a dense forest. There were many groups of ferocious beasts in the forest. The fact that he dared to barge in showed that he was skilled and bold. Yang Wu didn't even think about it as he chased into the dense forest. Who knew that as soon as he entered, a ferocious beast would bite him? He didn't have time to pay attention to this ferocious beast. He skillfully dodged its attack and continued to chase in the other direction. However, the ferocious beasts here were endless. First, they were disturbed by the playboy in front of them. Then, they sensed the appearance of Yang Wu. They all vented their anger on Yang Wu. Roar! A series of roars soared into the sky, and a dense, ferocious power bombarded Yang Wu from all directions. Damn bastard! Yang Wu dodged continuously, but these attacks were too concentrated. Sometimes he had no choice but to block them, slowing down his speed. From afar, the playboy proudly laughed, "Haha, enjoy the feast of the ferocious beasts." This person took Qing Jing and continued to move. When the ferocious beasts were alerted, he had already escaped 1 step ahead of them. Yang Wu was incomparably annoyed. He wanted to fly into the sky and give chase, but the forest was too dense. Every tree was very tall, and he couldn't find the other person's figure from the sky. He might even be shaken off by the other person. "All of you scram!" Yang Wu was extremely anxious. He punched a ferocious beast that was charging at him, and a large amount of blood splattered everywhere. He focused all his strength on the wind god's leg. His Yonquan acupoint erupted with unprecedented power, helping him to once again sprint at full speed. This chase and escape unfolded a fierce contest in the dense forest. Qing Jing, who was captured by the playboy, didn't realize that she had already been knocked unconscious. This madman, is it worth it for a little nun? The playboy ran as fast as he could, but he still felt that someone was chasing after him. He couldn't help but curse. Although his speed was unparalleled, running for such a long time wasn't a solution. His strength would be exhausted, and he had to think of another way to escape. Yang Wu, who was chasing from behind, was even more anxious. He had already used the extreme speed pill, and his speed was extremely fast. However, after being blocked by the ferocious beasts, the distance between him and the other person increased. This made him very anxious. I still need to go faster, I still need to go faster. Yang Wu felt that the extreme speed pill's power was about to run out. He continued to run madly, and the energy in his dantian poured into the Yonquan acupoint in his legs. The energy they emitted became more and more resplendent, and finally, he felt a kind of sublimation. It was as if his feet were smeared with oil, and his speed increased again and again. This was the manifestation of his potential talent reaching its peak. Yang Wu was getting closer and closer to the other person. He roared, "The person in front of me, hurry up and stop. Otherwise, when I catch you, I'll break your legs." The playboy was a little flustered. He was best at speed, and if he couldn't even compare to the other person in this aspect, then he might not be the other person's match. Just as he was hesitating whether or not to abandon Qing Jing, he felt a dark energy floating in front of him. He laughed coldly and said, "You want to break my legs? It's not that easy." He changed his direction and rushed in the direction of the dark energy floating in the air. That was one of the Yiksha's territories, and there were close to 10,000 Yikshas living there. This place was naturally protected by a poisonous barrier, and not just anyone could break in. Before the playboy could even get close to the poisonous barrier, a Yiksha expert rushed out. "Here, this beauty is for you." The playboy was quite evil, and he threw Qing Jing in the direction of the Yikshas. Yang Wu, who was chasing from behind, glared at him. Without thinking, he took out the fallen moon bow and shot an arrow at the Yiksha in front of him with all his strength. Before the Yiksha could understand what was going on, the arrow pierced through its head and blew it up. The other Yikshas that appeared cursed, "How dare you, human? How dare you kill my people? You deserve to die." Yang Wu didn't have time to care. He threw out a gentle force and lifted Qing Jing up, preventing her from falling. But the playboy didn't run far. He took out a war bow in another direction, aimed at Yang Wu, and shot an arrow. "You ruin my plans, damn you!" Whoosh! The arrow was very powerful, and its speed was even faster. In the blink of an eye, it was behind Yang Wu's head. He really wanted to kill Yang Wu. Yang Wu's divine court Dao flower was full of power, and his senses were astonishing. Just as the arrow was about to land on his head, he squatted down and the arrow shot through his hair, causing him to break out in a cold sweat. His opponent's arrow was very cold and powerful. He was definitely not someone to be trifled with. Yang Wu didn't have time to pay attention to him. He sped up and rushed toward Qing Jing. One of the Yikshas was the first to approach Qing Jing. It raised the bone knife in its hand and slashed at Qing Jing, showing no mercy at all. "Get out of my way!" Yang Wu roared, and a domineering fist flew toward the Yiksha. The Yiksha had no choice but to change the direction of its attack and slash at Yang Wu's fist. Bang! The Yiksha's bone blade was shattered by the power of this punch. The fist continued to rush toward the Yiksha's chest, shattering it. Black blood splattered in all directions. The Yiksha's body slammed into the tree trunk behind him, knocking it down before stopping. The power of Yang Wu's punch was extremely domineering and ferocious. Two other Yikshaws attacked Yang Wu from both sides. They activated the Yiksha race's unique talent, Yiksha Poison. They opened their mouths and spat out clouds of poisonous fog, which rolled toward Yang Wu. In addition, the murderous weapons in their hands carried dark power and attacked Yang Wu's vital parts. The two Yikshas were quite powerful, but they were nothing in Yang Wu's eyes. Yang Wu kicked them several times, and several blue Xian Qi hit them and killed them. "You're quite powerful, but you're still going to die." Not far away, the playboy sneered. He aimed his war bow at Qing Jing, who had just landed on the ground, and an arrow shot out instantly. "Oh no!" Yang Wu didn't have time to adjust. He cried out in alarm and rushed toward Qing Jing. Puff. Chapter 489. The arrow was fierce and merciless. It broke through Yang Wu's king armor and stabbed into his back. Blood flowed out like a flower. At this time, Qing Jing woke up. She had been knocked out by the romantic young master's sleeping incense. She woke up just as the sleeping incense wore off. Coincidentally, Yang Wu was hugging her. This frightened her. "Yang. Almsgiver Yang, what are you doing?" Yang Wu didn't answer. He hugged her and rolled around. Bang bang. Just as he dodged with Qing Jing in his arms, two arrows were shot at him from where he was originally standing. They blasted a deep hole in the ground. "Good boy, I don't believe that I can't shoot you to death," the romantic young master cried out in surprise. He was ready to attack again. He had to kill Yang Wu. At this time, a large number of Yikshas rushed out. There were even Yikshas that had reached the heaven realm. They came with a menacing aura. Seeing this, the romantic young master turned around and fled. He muttered, "What a pity for that innocent little nun." The romantic young master was actually just a self-proclaimed title. Others called him Rapist Jiang Ping. This guy was both good and evil. He didn't belong to any sect or faction and was a rogue cultivator. No one knew where he had obtained a shocking inheritance. Not only was his battle strength impressive, but his speed was also unparalleled. At the age of 26, he had already reached the heavenly fish realm. He was comparable to the top geniuses of various sects and factions. This guy had ruined countless fairies in the transcendent realm and had become a famous figure in the transcendent realm. Other than this, he was quite good in many aspects. For example, when people encountered mounted bandits, he would kill them to save them. When he saw people who were seriously injured, he would occasionally be kind and save them. However, he would never let anyone who ruined his plans have an easy time. For example, Yang Wu had saved Qing Jing and ruined his plans. He had to kill Yang Wu no matter what. Yang Wu continued to roll and his body crashed into a hard rock. The arrow that was stuck in his back was even deeper, causing him to grit his teeth in pain. Drops of blood seeped out from the corner of his mouth and dripped onto Qing Jing's face, slowly sliding to the side of her mouth. She subconsciously licked it, and in that instant, she felt as if she had been electrocuted and was completely stunned. She licked Yang Wu's blood. This was a man's blood. She was a monk. Was this considered breaking her precepts? "Kill these humans," the Yikshas roared. Dozens of Yikshas rushed toward Yang Wu and Qing Jing. They raised their weapons one after another and burst out with attacks that were laced with poisonous fog. Jiang Ping, who was hiding not far away, saw that the situation was not good. He immediately fled and stopped watching. These attacks came too quickly. Yang Wu did not have time to take Qing Jing away. He had no choice but to press Qing Jing into his arms to protect her. He used his body as a shield to block the attack. Boom, 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 boom. Wave after wave of attacks fell. Yang Wu felt that he could not take it anymore. He spat out another mouthful of blood and splashed it on Qing Jing's face. This woke her up completely. Qing Jing was naive, but it did not mean that she was a fool. She finally realized what kind of danger they were in. Looking at Yang Wu, who was so close to her, protecting her, she felt heartache for the first time. She felt that she was so useless. She cried out in grief and anger, "Stop fighting!" Along with her shout, holy light bloomed where her heart was, and a pure lotus bloomed. Balls of flawless power contained inexplicable power, dissolving all of Yiksha's attack. Moreover, this power even spread to Yiksha's position, like ripples in the water, circle after circle. The Yikshas at the front were affected by this power. Their fierce and evil aura was quickly purified. The power disappeared from their bodies. One by one, they fell to the ground with an incomparably shocked expression. The Yikshas who had reached the heaven realm screamed and quickly retreated to the poisonous fog tribe's territory. They did not dare to show their faces again. This kind of purifying power happened to be the nemesis of the Yikshas. There was no way they could fight against it. Yang Wu, who was on Qing Jing's body, felt this power very clearly. The immortal qi in his body seemed to be attracted by this power. It became incomparably active and produced a suction force, absorbing this power into his body. As the power entered his body, Yang Wu's body had a great reaction. His spotless body had a kind of compatibility with this power. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula was circulating, and the speed became even faster. The power in his dantian followed the meridians and circulated continuously. He felt that the speed was much faster than before. This was an amazing effect. Any cultivator needed to absorb external energy to increase their cultivation. The speed at which they absorbed external energy was closely related to the circulation of the qi cycle. The faster the circulation of the qi cycle, the faster the absorption of external energy. Naturally, the faster one could raise their cultivation. This was the basic principle. At this time, Yang Wu's power was rapidly increasing. It was definitely several times or even 10 times his usual speed. A large amount of Xian Qi surged from all around and turned into Xian Qi liquid that fell into the Earth Sea. The Earth Sea Xian Qi increased greatly, and Yang Wu felt very comfortable. Unfortunately, the good times did not last long. The power of Qing Jing disappeared, and the circulation of his Xian Qi formula returned to its normal speed. The comfortable feeling was back to its original state. "Yang, benefactor Yang, can you let me go?" Qing Jing said softly. Her face was full of shyness. She did not dare to look directly at Yang Wu. Their current posture was too seductive. Yang Wu was on top of her. There was no distance between their bodies, presenting a scene that was not suitable for children. This was really difficult for a monk to accept. If it was not for Yang Wu saving her, she would definitely slap him and then commit suicide to prove her innocence. Yang Wu did not have the slightest intention of insulting Qing Jing. He quickly wanted to stand up from Qing Jing's body. When he moved, he could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. Hiss! Sorry, don't move. Qing Jing just remembered that Yang Wu was seriously injured and quickly apologized. She would rather have Yang Wu lying on top of her than let Yang Wu be tortured. She was really kind. Yang Wu might take advantage of other beauties, but in front of Qing Jing, he did not have the slightest intention of blasphemy. He still forced himself to stand up. At the same time, he grabbed the arrow, gritted his teeth, and pulled it out. Yang Wu just frowned and did not make a sound. Then he smiled at Qing Jing and said, "It's okay. I'm sorry, it's all my fault," Qing Jing said guiltily. When she woke up, she thought that Yang Wu was going to do something bad to her. Who knew that Yang Wu was injured in order to save her? Her heart was very sad. "Little junior sister Qing Jing, don't be like this. If you did not take care of me for a few days, I would have been eaten by vicious beasts. You are the kindest girl I have ever seen," Yang Wu said sincerely. "But I'm so useless." Qing Jing lowered her head and said, "If you are useless, then the fallen Yikshas here will not agree." Yang Wu pointed at the dozens of Yikshas nearby and said. He did not understand why Qing Jing's power was able to kill these Yikshas and did not harm him. Instead, it had the effect of increasing his cultivation speed. Qing Jing did not pay attention to those yikshaws. She tore a piece of cloth and prepared to bandage Yang Wu's arrow wound. Yang Wu wanted to refuse, but seeing her guilty and distressed appearance, he let her do it. Qing Jing tore open Yang Wu's clothes and found that other than the arrow wound that had not healed, all the scars on Yang Wu's body had disappeared. She muttered in her heart, "Why are his scars gone? Could it be that he refined some kind of pill effect?" On the day she saved Yang Wu's entire body was covered in wounds. Those wounds were very fatal and deep to the bone. In just a few days, all the wounds on his body had disappeared. It was hard for her not to be surprised. Qing Jing did not think too deeply about it. After she finished bandaging Yang Wu's wounds, her face was as red as an apple. She saw Yang Wu's upper body naked while Yang Wu was conscious. She kept chanting in her heart to calm the chaotic emotions in her heart. In the past, this method worked, but this time it did not work. Her mind was completely filled with the scene of Yang Wu vomiting blood at her. No matter how she tried to shake it off, she could not. Yang Wu put on his clothes again and asked Qing Jing, "Your Heaven King ranking mainly depends on the number of vicious beasts and yikshas killed?" Qing Jing nodded and said, "This is the part that shows the most battle strength. You can also increase your ranking by fighting with others. Why are you asking this?" "Then let's continue killing yikshas." Yang Wu replied, "No need. You are injured and I don't know how to fight. I will be killed by them. The yakshas here all died because of your innate strength. How can you say that you don't know how to fight?" "They were not killed by me. Definitely not." Qing Jing could not accept the fact that she had killed. Yang Wu walked over and took out the demon cores of the yakshas. Qing Jing was so scared that she closed her eyes and chanted. She was afraid to see such a bloody scene. Yang Wu said to Qing Jing, "Aren't you all fighting for the Heaven King position? Don't you want to win glory for the sect?" Qing Jing hesitated and nodded. "Of course I do." The senior sisters said that if we don't get a Heaven King position, our Heng Shan sect will be looked down upon by the other sections. So the senior sisters are working very hard. Your senior sisters are working hard. Don't you need to work hard? Yang Wu asked back. I am too stupid. I have a body full of strength, but I am afraid of killing. Master told me not to kill casually. Qing Jing lowered her head like a child who had done something wrong. Yang Wu sighed and said, "If you don't kill them, they will kill more people. They will also kill your senior sisters. Those people and your senior sisters might die because of you." After saying this, he did not force Qing Jing. He felt that he was being very cruel. He walked towards the poisonous miasma. He wanted to enter the Yiksha's territory and kill more Yikshas for Qing Jing to help her become a Heaven King. This was the vow he made after he woke up. Chapter 490. Qing Jing was thinking about Yang Wu's question. When she came back to her senses, Yang Wu had already walked to the poisonous fog. She hurriedly shouted, "You're still injured. Don't mess around." Yang Wu turned back and smiled. "It's okay. Wait for me outside. Remember to protect yourself and don't get captured again." Then, he ignored Qing Jing and stepped directly into the poisonous fog. Qing Jing chased after him and shouted, "Don't go in. The poisonous fog is terrible." Yang Wu didn't seem to hear her. He still stepped in and soon disappeared in front of Qing Jing. The poisonous fog here was extremely overbearing. Even a heavenly fish realm cultivator wouldn't be able to break in easily. Yang Wu was really bold. Qing Jing came to the poisonous fog. She was so anxious that she was about to cry. She murmured, "Benefactor Yang killed the Yiksha for me. How can I let him take the risk alone? I'll go in too." The next moment, she took out a detoxification pill and put it in her mouth. Then she rushed in. This spirit of not looking back was not something that anyone could do. Only a silly nun like her would do this. She was different from Yang Wu. Yang Wu had a body that was invulnerable to poison. Did she really think that a detoxification pill could withstand the poisonous fog here? This was a poisonous miasma that had been accumulated for many years. Its toxicity was extremely overbearing and fierce. Even a king would die if he touched it. Even a heavenly fish realm warrior would not want to be touched by this poisonous miasma. As soon as Qing Jing entered, she was surrounded by the poisonous miasma. Her body was quickly attacked by the poisonous miasma, and she felt extremely uncomfortable. She could not see the scene in front of her. She wanted to rush in desperately, but before she could move, her body went limp and she fell into the poisonous miasma. She cried, Why am I so useless?" Just as she was about to fall, a strong and powerful arm supported her, not letting her fall. A voice rang out, "Junior Sister Qingjing, activate your innate potential." This voice was like a heavenly curse, entering her ears. She instantly sobered up and hurriedly formed a seal, urging her innate talent to surge. A pure and flawless energy was released from her body, dispersing and purifying the poisonous fog that approached her. The poisonous fog was no longer able to harm her. Yang Wu felt a pure and flawless power. It was extremely comfortable, and he couldn't help but feel a sense of intimacy. The power in his body became active, the profound arts circulated faster, and there was a kind of fresh feeling all over his body. What kind of talent is this? Yang Wu wondered. Almsgiver Yang, you can let me go now, Qing Jing said softly to Yang Wu. Yang Wu came back to his senses and retracted his arm from Qing Jing's waist. Are you okay now? Qing Jing blushed and said, It's all right. Almsgiver Yang, do you really want to kill those yakshas? Do you think I'll change my mind? Yang Wu asked in return, then walked toward the yakshas' territory. Behind this poisonous fog was the yakshas' territory, which belonged to the yakshas. There were more than 10,000 of them. Most of them were ordinary yakshas, and their combat strength wasn't very strong. Some of them were already adults, and their combat strength wasn't weak. There were king-level and heaven-level existences, but none of them surpassed heaven-level existences. Yang Wu's divine court Dao flower throbbed and sensed the nearby area clearly. Many yakshas were already surrounding them. How dare a human intrude into our territory? How dare you? A yakshas roared angrily. In an instant, dozens of yakshas with combat weapons charged toward Yang Wu and Qing Jing. These yakshas were only in the general realm, and they were nothing in Yang Wu's eyes. Qing Jing looked at Yang Wu nervously and said, There are so many yakshas here. Let's leave. Yang Wu didn't answer her and quickly swept toward the yakshas. His legs were like dragons, and he kicked continuously. Waves of power swept past, and the yakshas that rushed over were all kicked to death. They couldn't withstand Yang Wu's power at all. As Yang Wu attacked, many yakshas were alarmed. A large number of yakshas rushed over from all directions. Qing Jing looked at the densely packed yakshas and said in fear, There are too many of them. We can't fight them. Let's leave. Yang Wu still didn't answer. He continued to meet the yakshas and began to kill them in all directions. Yang Wu's eyes were like lightning, and his fists and legs were like dragons. Blue-colored power was crazily thrown out, and each of the power contained earth-shattering power. It was full of his strength that could rival Heaven Realm expert. Wherever his power went, the yakshas were blasted to pieces. None of them were able to withstand a single blow. Only then did the yakshas realize how powerful this young human was. They all stopped in their tracks and let the more powerful yakshas take the lead. A king-level yaksha raised a very strange weapon and charged over. Clouds of yaksha poison were contained in the weapon, and it slashed out dozens of waves of dark power, sealing off heaven and earth, and cutting off all of Yang Wu's escape routes. Another king-level yaksha burrowed out from the ground. It held a scissor-like combat weapon and cut at Yang Wu's feet. Yaksha kings were the strongest of the yaksha race. If they worked together, they were confident that they could take down this human youth. Unexpectedly, Yang Wu didn't care about their attacks at all. He took a step forward and lightly punched out. A surge of power stronger than his opponent's condensed into a turbulent fist energy that broke the dozens of waves of dark power. The remaining power continued to crush the yakshas. He took another step forward and stomped on the scissor-like power coming from below, shattering it. A powerful rebound force was born and sent that yaksha flying. "Call your king out. None of you are enough for me to kill," Yang Wu said faintly. He continued to attack, reaping the lives of many yakshas. In the blink of an eye, there was a pile of yaksha corpses on the ground. Yang Wu didn't show any mercy. None of his yakshas could withstand a single blow. Yang Wu wasn't a bloodthirsty person, but he could feel the evil aura of the yakshas. This aura was emitted from the bones. In addition, he felt an inexplicable sense of hatred from his bloodline. It was an innate feeling. It was very strange, but it did exist. He was sure that his ancestors might have an irreconcilable feud with the yakshas. "Do you really think that there's no one among us yakshas? I'll kill you." Finally, a heavenly yaksha warrior appeared. It rushed over very quickly and swung its arms continuously. Two waves of dark power intertwined and blasted at Yang Wu. Its power was many times stronger than the previous yaksha. "Now it's a little more interesting." Yang Wu sneered and went up to meet it. He moved his body and fist, and the surging fist intent went against the sky. The blue xian energy of water collided with the dark power of the yaksha and exploded in an instant. The blue and black xian qi kept splashing in all directions. The movement was very loud. Yang Wu's strength was a level higher. His fist intent was still rushing toward the heavenly yaksha. It was so scared that it quickly dodged. Yang Wu followed it like a shadow. He appeared one step ahead of the heavenly yaksha. He waved his other fist and smashed it on the yaksha's side. The yaksha flew far away like a cannonball. Yang Wu didn't stop there. He rushed over again. Before the yaksha landed on the ground, he kicked it again. The yaksha's waist bone was broken and black blood spurted out. It was not a match at all. This was just a yaksha that had just entered the heavenly realm. Yang Wu only used his fist intent to beat it to the point that it couldn't fight back. It was enough to show that Yang Wu's combat power was getting stronger and stronger. There was more than one heavenly realm yaksha. 3 yaksha emperors rushed over from afar. They were the yaksha tribe's chief and protector. Their combat power was even stronger. Before they arrived, they had already joined forces to attack Yang Wu. Waves of dark power enveloped Yang Wu. This was definitely an attack filled with overbearing poison. Wherever it went, not even a blade of grass would survive. Qing Jing watched from afar with fear. She prayed, "I hope that benefactor Yang will be fine." At this moment, some yakshas rushed toward her. However, when they got close to her, they felt a sense of disgust. This was a natural power that countered them. They had no choice but to attack from afar. Before the poison reached Qing Jing, it was purified by the light on her body. It didn't hurt her. Qing Jing wasn't stupid. She said to the yakshas, "Don't come over. I will fight back." She didn't know why, but when she saw these yakshas, she felt a sense of disgust. She, who had never killed before, had the urge to attack. "Kill her. You must kill her." A yaksha roared with a strong killing intent. Thus, they threw the weapons in their hands at Qing Jing. These weapons contained a great amount of power. They were determined to kill Qing Jing. Qing Jing was a top-tier king. Her reaction speed was very fast. However, she wasn't good at fighting with others. She had never used the battle skills that she had cultivated. However, she could still dodge these attacks. There were too many yakshas here. More and more yakshas surrounded her. They not only threw weapons, but also stones. The sky was covered with weapons and stones. Qing Jing had nowhere to run. Qing Jing sighed and said, "You forced me to do this." Thus, she sat down cross-legged and began to chant Buddhist scriptures. Pure energy supported her body. Her heart's innate skill was completely activated. It formed a ball of Buddhist light that enveloped her. Buddhist talismans scattered and flew toward the Yikshaws. When the Yikshaws saw this power, it was as if they had seen a ghost. They frantically ran away. Some of the slower ones were attacked by the talismans. The power in their bodies was stripped away and their bodies fell to the ground. This was a pure power that contained Buddhist nature. It was the nemesis of evil. Once touched, the evil power would be purified and the Yikshaws would lose their lives. This was the terrifying part of Qing Jing's innate skill. This was a purifying lotus heart. Only the most kind and pure people could awaken this innate skill. It was 1 in a billion,